ever heard of it?
Give me a history check.
Yeah.
Can I also roll?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not.
Yeah.
7, 4.
7-4. You two, unfortunately, have not heard of it, but from the nature of it and that they're a band, it's some sort of show competition.
Yeah, sounds about right. What was the name of it again?
Asgore Night.
Oh. I feel like.
Alright, well, welcome back to Wicked Initiative, everyone. Are you ready for the second episode?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, let's begin. I'll do a little recap, and we'll jump right into where you guys left off. Very quick recap, not long at all. Darley was expecting Nixel for dinner to discuss acquiring some lavrosite, which you know to be this kind of strange purplish gem that can be used to manipulate magic in some sort of arcane fingerprint and talk to one another. Bo Dink was letting Bosco and the rest of the party into the nest after you guys had quite some interaction here within Dink's Dank Shrooms and such, this little mushroom shop outside on the edges of Port Vischer near the marketplace. Cedric was basically kind of interrogating Aragar a little bit on why he kind of wanted this thing. You detected that there was some strange magic, and it was the same as the stone that was within Zarzaros's possession and the weapon that Aragar was carrying.
Who you do know is concealed, but your detect magic was able to reveal where it is and what it is.
Correct. Bo and Gax obviously made just instant friends discussing their notes on botany and all the matters of shrooms, flowers, trees, anything that... I mean, Bo is just anxious for any kind of information. He's intrigued by it all.
Said friendship. Never mind.
So yeah, there was some sort of connection there between Bodink and Gax Arat. And that's where we'll pick up this session. You again see the door sort of move out, and some sort of magic pulls this door forward a bit and then slides to the side. The minute that happens, you sort of can smell just this intense, hazy smoke just kind of like billowing out from this open door that leads, you can see a staircase that leads down beyond. You can't actually see what's down there from here, but you can hear the distant chatter. You can also hear a bit of music playing. In fact, let me get that worked up here. You hear a bit of music playing, and obviously the rummaging around of some glassware, and yeah, so what do you guys do? Everyone is there. Darley has left and went back to her home, asked Bosco to basically like come on back with everyone when you guys are ready, and that she would have dinner prepared.
I believe I went with Darley, if I'm correct.
I did ask this at the end of the session, and you said you were staying.
I did?
Yes.
Okay.
Roll
we'll
back
go
the
with
tape.
that. They'll catch us.
If you would like to catch up with her, that's totally fine, or you can stay and engage with this new group that you are suddenly just been thrust into.
Yeah, no, I think Nixel would probably go with Darley, so he's gonna go catch up with her.
You're
Sure.
He
going
doesn't-
back to
he-
my house.
Well, he
with
doesn't.
My girlfriend.
He's met Darley, and he hasn't met any of you, so he has no motive to stay with you guys.
You do see him sort of
I'm angered right
tuck back in.
now.
He takes a 2 steps forward and is like, you know what? I don't really like the look of all these people. I'm gonna just go back and. You're getting this sort of sense that he might be a little bit shy, or he's potentially interested in whatever this.
I don't turn to face him when
happening.
if we see him. I just crane my neck to look in his direction, and then crane my neck back.
From within the tavern, you can also hear this kind of just like low, kind of bass tone that's just sort of like echoing out of there at this point.
As I'm catching up to Darley, is she in eyesight? Can I still see her? So
I
can
mean,
catch
she's
up to her?
hoofing it, but yeah, as the minute you go back out, you can see that she's like down a few 100 feet.
Yeah, Nixel would.
You
move
just have
his
to
little
find your way
tiny
through the
legs
crowd-
as fast as
through
he
the
can
crowd.
to move towards
Alright,
Darley.
so you're heading back with Darley.
Right.
Excellent. What are the rest of you guys doing?
Oh, I forget where we left off. We left off.
We're following Bosco down the stairs,
Yeah.
right?
You guys had just been led into what Bosco has referred to once as the nest.
I am following Bosco with the group, but I am careful to make sure Auragar is at least next to me or in front of me, not behind me.
Alrighty.
Bosco's just I'm consumed by what's going on now in the tavern or in
So yeah,
dance
the
rooms
stairs
and
go
such. I don't.
down about 40 feet
Yeah.
into this like massive opening.
I'm too concentrated on everything else to notice Nixel went chasing after Darley. I'm not getting into that right now. So I'm gonna lead everyone down into the Brew and Stew.
Alrighty. As you guys descend down into this pretty large underground kind of tavern that it's split into 2 sides. It's dimly lit, it's kind of smoky in here, but on one side you can see there's a divide, there's this forge that's not really, it's lit, but it's not actively working. You can see there's a blacksmith over there kind of just sort of like lazily hammering away. So there's some clinking in here. And then in the main area in the center, this area is about 100 feet wide across. Alright? There's just kind of like that German style pub feel where you've got these long tables with bunches of mismatched chairs all over the place. Some have cushions, some don't. Definitely just sort of thrown in there, whatever they could find, basically, whatever they brought from home. And you see multiple small groups that are just sort of huddled together. Some are wearing armor, some are wearing like tattered armor. Some are wearing like leathers and such. You see a lot of people with bows, lots of ranger types. On the other side, so it kind of makes this, as you come down the staircase, it opens up into like a diamond shape. All right. So you've got on your left, you've got the forge area with some like storage and alcoves that have like just like barrels and such in it. And then on the other side, in the other corner, you've got a long kind of bar that behind it's just got a bunch of like shelving with a bunch of ales, ciders, glassware, that kind of stuff. And behind the bar, you can see that there's a couple of alcoves, about 3 alcoves that have like curtains drawn across them. and above on top on a plaque is the Brew and Stew. And there's a bartender here, and it's you would know, Bosco, that it's near the end of his shift. Buckle Huggins, who has a...
We go back.
He's got kind of like... It's almost like just a torn up t-shirt with like the sleeves kind of rolled up. It's rather tight around him, like you can see all of it. He's lean, he's not necessarily bulging with muscles, but the tight shirt kind of gives it that like, almost kind of like a Jersey boy feel. Alright? He's got a headband or of a buckle. It's just like a belt buckle around his head. And his hair is kind of pulled back. And then, yeah, and he's just sort of in there, sort of like dexterously throwing out glasses, cleaning a couple here and there. As you walk down, he sees you. Hey, Bosco, what you doing over there? You come back already?
Oh yeah, I was here earlier today, man, but you know, it's been a wicked day.
How's Darley doing?
She ran off with another guy.
And you're still here, mate.
Yeah, and these guys here, they tailgated into the bar. I didn't let all of them in.
Well, come on, introduce them all to me. I
Oh,
want to meet them. They
I
look
have-
strange. You don't usually bring this type of down here.
I haven't even been introduced myself. No, I don't know. Why don't we
Well, it
go
sounds
around?
like we need a round, yeah? This one's on the house, alright?
Hey.
What's everyone drinking? I've got ale, cider, I even got some whiskey. What you want?
Do you have the ogre stout you had last week?
Like itching his arm.
Ogre stout. He's sort of like... This is the same day. He pulls back, he's like, no, I think you drank the last bit.
Oh, okay.
So what you drinking today?
I'll hold off.
He sees you. He goes, hey, baby. What's your name, sweetheart?
2 ales and maybe I'll tell you my name.
Fair enough. He goes over and grabs 2 ales, passes them to you. That's gonna be 2 silver.
You said.
Oh wait, on the house.
Yeah, excuse
My
me.
memory.
Sir.
I'm so sorry.
Right, and
Please
the second
forgive
one
me.
was.
Please forgive me. I'm still working out the kinks here.
And the second one was free for my name. So Aries, nice to meet
Well,
you.
it's very nice to meet you, Aries.
And
I'm
I
saying it
chug
right.
one back immediately.
Anyone else?
I'll take a cider.
Well, damn, you're quite an intimidating fellow, aren't you?
Well, I try not to be.
A cider, you say?
Please.
You want ice with that?
You have that?
Sure, I got ice.
No.
Growl.
You sure? You look like you want it.
All right.
Oh, excellent. He tries to grab. He goes over down to like the end of it, and where he like lifts up a curtain, and you can see the visible frustration with himself as he goes, "Oh hell! I forgot to smash it. It's a giant fucking block."
I could help you.
Use
Do you
your
want some
head.
help?
Well, I would love some help because there's no way I'm getting through all this. And if Em catches me, she's gonna be pissed. This isn't the first time it's happened.
Well, I've never done it before, but do you have a tool?
Yeah, let me check in the back. He goes in the back, takes like 2 minutes, he hears them cling, cling, like rummaging around. comes back out. I don't know where the hammer is.
I'm gonna say, that's alright, use your hands, big boy. Get back there.
Just like punches ice.
Just
So I
straight
guess
up.
for now, no ice. My apologies once again. So just the cider.
I really wanted that ice. Come to think of it. We'll see.
Ice knife is
Zarzaros makes his way over to the block of ice,
destroys the cup.
and he's just gonna breathe on it. I'm gonna use my thunder breath weapon on the block of ice. Try to break it up.
Okay.
That's one way to do it.
So you actually have he's like, you're gonna do what? You're gonna breathe on it and blast it apart?
Don't worry. Hopefully it'll work. I've never tried it before, but
Give me a persuasion check.
ooh, okay. 17.
Nat 1.
Oh.
Well, all right then. How about you come over here? He brings you over to the other side. Just be careful. Don't blow up the whole place. Otherwise, M's gonna have my head. All right. She'll be here in like a couple of minutes. I'm leaving my shift soon. I don't want to get in trouble right before I'm off shift.
Sounds good. I'll try.
All right. So there's this. You see behind the counter,
Instinctively
behind a curtain, there's just a massive block of ice, and around the edges you can see that there's this strange, like, dark blue mold that's just around the edges. You can give me a nature check if you want to try and determine what it is.
Sure. I want to go look at the mole.
11.
11. This mold is not native to Agaros. So you know that it is a mold of some sort and that this is probably what's creating this freezing chamber. But you're not necessarily certain of what actually species it is or how it works. But there sure enough is a giant square block of ice that you can pull out. And yeah, so you're gonna blast it apart with your thunder breath.
I'm gonna take it out, and I'm gonna cup my hands like around my snout towards it and just breathe into it.
All right, roll damage.
Magical energy.
It doesn't make a save because it's an object.
Say it's ice.
So you should feel low damage here, right?
Roll to
I feel like this could have been handled much better with, with a dagger and
hitting the bar.
Shit.
Rats from
It doesn't
inside
make
the
a
block.
save, so I'm just rolling damage.
Like, it just goes
Correct.
all over the
Okay.
Exactly.
It's like a prison.
Like exactly like through a prison.
Where is my
That'd actually be so funny.
Cedric slowly lifts his shoe as he's doing this.
Oh yeah. He's like hiding underneath the bar, like you see his eyes.
8 points
go
of
down.
damage
I believe so. Thunder damage.
on this
Oh.
ice block.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
If it's
As you
it's sound-based.
try to centralize this thunder damage into this ice chunk. All right, this chunk is about this big, right? So you would need something hard to get through it. You can see the foundation of it starting to crack from the within, in which it doesn't completely shatter. So there's a couple of bits and pieces that start to like chip off on the edges, but you've done basically enough damage that the inside starts to like crack and the structure of it is hopefully a little bit easier to like sort of smash through with something hard enough.
Well, I gave it a shot.
Well, I mean, I guess I'll do my best to break it apart.
At this
Or
point,
maybe I'll just wait till M gets here and she might know where the hammer is.
At this point, can I wordlessly? I pull out a dagger, and I would like to try to carve off enough of a piece that could be used as an ice cube. Just like, kind of pushing them aside. And
So you walk over to this scenario happening, and you're like, "Give me that ice cube," or like.
No, I'm keeping it where it
'Cause
is,
he
taking
has
the
it.
dagger, and then trying to shave off a large enough chunk to work with.
You just give it up.
Yeah.
Are you holding it, or are you?
Yeah, he's
it was-
got it in his hand, sort of
Yeah.
like breathing, trying to.
Oh,
stabilize
in that case,
it.
yeah, I'll walk up to him wordlessly, just stare at him.
I'll hand it over kind of cautiously.
I do that. I place it on a solid surface, take the dagger, and I.
Roll. Give me a damage roll. 'Cause
What's
it's,
damage
it's an
roll?
inanimate object. It's not moving.
It's a dagger, so it's probably 1d4. 4. Plus 2 for dexterity.
4.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you use your sharpened blade enough to like sort of chisel off a corner of it. It's not necessarily like the nicest ice cube, but it will fit in a glass.
I basically.
Thank you.
I'm not an artist.
That's okay. I got some ice. I love that cider now. Name's Zarzaros, by the way.
Buckle Huggins. Sorry, I never introduced myself. God, where's my head today?
Cedric is just
It's the
cringing
end
at
of the
how
shift. I can't remember anything.
Cedric is just cringing at how unsanitary all these people touching the ice is.
Well,
And they intend to put it in a glass.
Yeah, he grabs the cider, hands it over to you, and I guess you just plop the ice right in. Anything else for anyone?
I'll take a whiskey neat.
Whiskey neat. Excellent. All right. He hops off of there, grabs the whiskey, hands it to you. At this point, you see a shorter, like you see someone coming down the stairs behind you, and there's a shorter halfling woman. She's got bunches of piercings in her like eyebrows and ears, and she's got this kind of like apron wrapped around, definitely a bartender type, and she's looking over at the group, sees this happening, and sees that no one paid, and she walks over to Buckle, and she says, "Buckle, what the fuck? You just passing out drinks for free now? Like, what are you doing?" "Well, they're new. Like, I thought that would just treat them, you know? Like," she's like, you can't fucking do that. And what is that ice cube? Did you fuck it again? You've got to be shitting me. Like, we can't cut that now. We're just gonna have to toss it and start all over. We can't be handing out shitty ice cubes. It's got to look good. Get your ass out of here. You're off your shift. He sort of hops over the bar. "Well, it was nice meeting you all, but I'm gonna leave so I don't get screamed at more.
Nice to meet you.
See
Thanks
you
for
later,
the ice.
everyone.
Thank you.
Hopefully I can meet you again tomorrow or something. I do the morning into early afternoon shift. M takes over the evening shift. And she's my boss, so she gets rides to all the fun shit. I'll be seeing you." And he starts to scamper off into the back up the stairs. All right, so my name's Emma Goodbarrel. I run this joint. Obviously you met Buckle. He's a bit of a knucklehead, but he's the best I got right now. So, what can I see you guys got drinks? Anything for the rest of y'all?
Fire whiskey.
Fire whiskey? Sure thing.
I'm like extremely uncomfortable. There's way too many long pauses in this bar. Like nobody's like even a little bit buzzed. It's very awkward. To like lean behind you and just drink the other one really quick.
She reaches behind her, does a quick little like bartender shuffle where like she's like moving a lot of things really fast and slides the drink over to you. It's gonna be 2 silver.
Okay. I give her the 2. I just drop it on the counter.
Thanks. Anyone else?
Do
Bosco?
Do
And-
you carry wine, perchance?
Wine? Yeah, I got some wine.
Ooh.
I can
Glass,
find that.
please.
She goes back in the back, kind of rummages around a couple things, pops open a new a red, and just starts to pour it into a glass for you.
Thank you.
Bosco, anything?
Didn't charge you.
I'll take the hardest shit you got back there. I don't know what it is, but just I'll take whatever.
What? What did he say?
You are something else.
Oh.
You know, I'm amazed Dolly puts up with yourself. You know?
Oh, we'll see how long that lasts.
Damn.
Just I got the silver if you got the drink.
Yeah, I'll get the drink.
So I pass the silver over.
Thanks so
And
much.
your drink. She said 2 silver for you, 1 for you.
And I throw down a gold. Oh.
You want change?
Please.
She grabs you the change. So yeah. For people who don't know, 1 gold is 10 silver, and
I was like, what's the exchange rate on?
1 silver is 10 copper.
1 gold, 10 silver, 1 silver, 10 copper.
Yep. So y'all look like you're from out of town, other than Bosco, and I'm surprised to see you 2 in here. And she looks at Aragar and Gax. I figured the vigil would be all over you at this point. There's been some hullabaloo around lizard folk with dealings with this plague.
Cedric absolutely throws a look at them from hearing that.
There has been troubles.
Indeed.
So why do you find yourselves here in my tavern?
Well, I've been tasked, or at least my own journey is trying to find a cure for this horrible, horrible thing. So I'm wondering, trying to find any herbal remedies that I can get my hands on in order to cure what this is.
Well, have you met with the CMO, Henry Applefoot?
No, I have not.
Well, he'd be your best bet. There's information about it on the billboard over there, and you turn around and there's a billboard on the side where the like the forge area is. Just this massive kind of billboard. It's got a couple of notes here and there, but yeah, you can't necessarily tell from this distance. It's too hazy in there, but you can see that there is a billboard and there's stuff on it. Well then, I guess I'll leave you to your own devices. Unless you need anything else, another drink.
So, Inago told us we're meeting with, was it Korik? I wrote that name down. That was the name, right? Korik.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cork.
Well, I asked her, then I asked Emma,
It's M.
M.
Yeah.
I asked Inago sent us to meet with Korik. Do you know if he's here?
Yeah, I know who he is. He's the leader of the Crow's Vigil. Good luck getting a meeting with him. You gotta work for that.
He said we would find him here.
He said if we
At the
just...
Brew and Stew.
Yeah, but he's in and out constantly.
Inago said that the mention of his name would get us company.
And you know Inago how?
We just saved his freaking ship.
I have some proof.
I don't know if I want to say that much.
I'm sorry.
Well, like,
I want my reward for what we just did. I'm sorry, I didn't say all that.
I just
said
got
we
here and
just
I
saved
haven't
the ship.
spoken to Inago yet, so I didn't know. So my apologies. But yeah, if you're looking for Korik, you're gonna have to help out the Crow's Vigil in some way before you meet him. He won't meet you otherwise.
I give up.
What-
No,
a little side
to you. Like, I don't think this is not gonna fly. I'm not doing more work right now.
What does
Where's
On
my
the
reward
way
for
in,
the
I
first
saw you
thing?
got a damaged armor. Is there
I
something?
do. I was told that Cora could help.
I thought you got new.
No, Corey was supposed to give
Oh,
him
okay.
one.
Oh, that's right. He was gonna get that, and I was gonna get the money, and you were just gonna get you helped out.
Peace of
We
mind.
The
faced
peace
a
of mind of helping others.
weird creature on the ship and saved their lives, but
Any shit.
and it ended up damaging my armor.
Cedric's thinking
well,
they're
I mean-
oversharing slightly.
If you need repairs, Lincoln can take care of you over there at the forge.
Who was it?
Lincoln.
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 Lincoln at the forge. Where's the forge?
Crows.
Oh yeah. Where can I buy spellcasting components?
That you have to go to the main market.
Oh yeah.
What kind of spellcasting components in particular?
looks at you not really sure what that's supposed to mean.
So, like, are you looking for, like, just your everyday components? Or are you looking for something special?
Mundane components.
Oh, alright. You can find that in the, sorry, what's it called? The wobbly sack.
I also need.
It's over. It's connected to the raised roof. You can't miss it.
Wobbly sack next to the raised roof.
I'm sorry, we need to talk to who? To
Lincoln.
get to Cork? No.
Mm.
Not about the armor.
Also,
About the money. About Cork.
Oh, well, I mean, Cork will speak with you if you help out the Crow's Vigil in any way. Obviously, we're dealing with the plague shit that's going on. There's also, if you check the billboard, Wild Weatherby is also looking for a party to go take out this dire boar that has been giving everyone trouble and making it unsafe to move out of the port. It's getting a little crammed, obviously.
Do you know why this boar is going a little haywire?
I don't know. It's happening to all the animals, in all honesty. They keep starting to encroach closer. Something's bugging them. Not sure what. You seem to be a little bit of a druid yourself. Maybe that's your... Maybe you can figure that out for us?
Depends. Maybe. It depends on what my new friends think.
Oh, we're new friends.
And she stops for a second. She goes, "Hold on. Are you the Gax Urot?"
I am. Nice to meet you.
The Gax.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a well-known healer of the lizard folk.
Well, I don't believe I am a peace druid yet, but just a healer.
better than most in my opinion.
Quite good.
Licks
Look,
his wine.
you may be well known, but I'd be careful in the main market areas. There's definitely some fuss about
Lizard folk?
lizard folk in general, yeah.
I know. I've been trying my best to rectify what has happened.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk to anyone that's had some experience, you can ask the band over there. They actually have been they've been putting out all their savings basically into gaining aid and help for their buddy.
Does he have it?
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
And then Dax will get up from the table with his wine, and I'll start making my way over to the band.
Sure.
I'm gonna follow you in that.
So we were told to go to Lincoln to fix his armor. Is Lincoln gonna charge us?
I'm gonna head over to Lincoln, see what's up over there.
I'm headed
Does
with
Czar
him.
have enough money for that?
Might come with me a second.
You want my money? No.
That's not what I said.
No, I say yes, that's fine. But beforehand, I pull you to the side.
Okay. Okay.
Because we exchanged the look.
Holding my whiskey neat.
I pull you over to the side. I'm gonna say, look, what? Not where anyone else can hear. Like kind of more.
Not even Zarzaros?
I'm not next to him, but
Okay.
don't worry about him. Don't worry about him.
Okay.
I pull you to the side quietly, and I'm like, dude, what's the deal with the double names? What you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Oh, on the ship.
Yes, and you
On
also
the ship. Yes.
wait. Hold on. Didn't you also introduce the other name to him? Pause. Didn't you also introduce the other name?
To who?
Okay, forget it. What's with the double names? What's with the double names?
The Ilmatari, when we travel with our given Ilmatari names. Mine was given as Bemar when I received the blessings. So on official Ilmatari business, I travel with that name to denote that I'm with the order.
Okay. Not as juicy as I thought, but thank you for your honesty.
I know it might be strange, but
Okay. Alright, so then I turn to you and I'm like, alright, we're good.
On the way over, what was all that about?
They're so friggin' nosy. Asking him about his double names. Do you remember when he
yeah.
gave another name when he came off the ship?
I didn't quite catch it, but you have a good ear.
Something this is Matar, whatever. Shit, I don't know, it's religion. I don't know. I'm sorry. Some of this name chosen name. I'm really quiet, so you couldn't hear. Some of this name, I don't know. You all and your little religions, I don't know. So, you ready to go?
Yeah, let's see what he has to offer.
Okay, so we go.
I'm heading over with them to Lincoln.
Tag along.
Alrighty.
I'm tagging along. I got no else to be.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys head over to Lincoln. You see he's just sort of
Oh,
hammering-
actually, sorry. Before I go, I dropped 3 silver on the bar thing for him to pay for my drink. Even though it was supposed to be free, Cedric feels terrible.
Oh my god. I look back and
She
I'm
doesn't
like,
notice it first, but when she turns around, you can see in the corner of your view that she like picks it up. She looks around. She's like, okay, I got it.
I just shake my head at you and turn around and like, let's go. How dare you?
So yeah, you guys head over to Lincoln, and he's just sort of again lazily hammering away at what looks to be some sort of blade that's a bit corroded. And as you're sort of scanning the area around him, you can see that there's a couple of barrels that are just like seriously corroded, and you guys sort of kind of put together that like this is possibly the stuff from Inago's ship that has now been rolled here and unloaded and is currently being repaired by the blacksmith. Lincoln himself is just, he's sweating, he's got a little bit of like this scraggly black hair that's just sort of like falling over the front of his face. And he's got a couple of wristbands going, and a very just a light tunic on that's kind of like just breathable. And yeah, he doesn't acknowledge you guys coming up until you guys are closer. He looks up, he's like, hey, can I help you?
You can help me specifically, hopefully.
Yeah, what you need?
Do you see this?
The
Motions to the hole in his chainmail in the center.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is a simple fix. What do you want? Just it repaired?
Please, if you would.
Did it happen to do with any of this?
Do with any what?
Yes. Potentially.
Right?
Yeah.
What
about
I'm not gonna ask you about it.
Oh,
but
okay.
I'm
Well.
just curious. It just looks similar to me, but yeah. That kind of job probably take me about 2 hours. It's just chainmail. Pretty easy to repair.
Great.
We good here? You gonna take it off?
You can go in the. Just go back there. Change, I guess.
And kind of walk back there and doff his armor.
Doff.
Yeah, as you start to doff, he starts to like get the fire going a little bit higher so that he can start smelting some of this. You see a bunch of like kettle helms that are like beaten up and like just random bits and pieces of metal and brigandine armor and stuff. All stuff that you can put together that's been salvaged from whatever the guards are wearing in like the main guards for Port Fisher. This is all their stuff that they've either stolen or looted or just found and salvaged themselves. And he just starts throwing it in there and sort of melting it down so that he can make some rings from it, some chain rings.
While this is all happening, while we're waiting for this to be fixed, I look over at them, maybe even a bit too chummy, pointing at them and be like, so what do you think about those guys?
Wait, I thought we were in a whole different area now, so how can you be funny to them?
More so just like where we were.
Oh, okay.
Not like...
I was confused.
Yeah.
I'm so confused right now.
No, like, what do you think about those guys?
What do you think?
Well, they didn't attack us, which is good.
That I was wary of that. The beady-eyed one.
Who could that be?
The beady-eyed one. He had some weapon on him, and it exudes the same magic as that stone. I don't know what he wants with it.
I don't either, but
We've seen what that stone can do. It's not good.
So we think.
So we think. I think we shouldn't give it to him unless we know it's for the right purpose.
I agree.
I like that Gax fellow, though.
He's a likable guy.
That's why we're together.
There's a duo.
I'd say it's fair to keep them within arm's reach for now.
Also, wait, I'm sorry. Did we just talk about Bosco and his
Lady friend?
lady friend? Let's get down to the real gossip. I don't know what's going on there. I'm honestly concerned for Bosco. Like, does he get
It's
beat?
not my
Does he
business
get
talking about
beat?
such things.
You should be worried about him if he's getting hurt.
The Ilmatari are celibate.
Okay, but I'm talking about beatings. I'm genuinely concerned for this dude.
Again, I have no experience in that regard.
Alright, so what are you good for?
Healing.
Alright. That's
Makes
not your
sense.
sense. Guess we'll keep you around.
Ouch. Aries, did you like any of the opportunities she told us about? Anything you think is worthwhile?
All I'm concerned about right now, number one, is getting my damn reward for that ship. So we need to get to Korik, so whatever we have to
It
do.
does sound like it's going to take some time.
They
Right,
mentioned,
so that's
some
to-do
slums.
list.
I would like to see how bad the situation is over there. Help out as much as we can.
Alright.
Did you find out how much this armor's gonna cost? To repair?
I was waiting for him to tell me.
Okay,
Hopefully
well,
he'll do it for
I
free.
just hope you know if he charges an arm and a leg and you can't afford it, then we'll be doing some shady things to earn some money again.
What?
Like
Don't-
we did before we got on the ship.
Essentially goes, excuse me?
We will do what is necessary.
I never
so.
did ask, how did you hurt your knee?
You know, that's a story. Maybe another time.
Alright.
With that, Bosco, what are you doing currently?
Just eavesdropping on this.
Vertical on the bar.
Bosco
You've
is
seen this party sort of split off and just go two separate ways. One, the lizard folk went to the band. with their drinks, and the other three went towards Lincoln Butch. What are you doing?
I think I'm more curious of the group that needs the armor repair.
Did you heard all?
No. I didn't hear any of that.
Right, because he didn't follow.
That's
why I asked him what he's doing.
That's
on the
why
agenda.
we're here, is to have the armor repair. I don't care about the lizard folk at all, really.
They just socially engineer. He's like hunched over. My tail's going a mile a minute because I'm happy because I get to like cure people.
Yeah, you're gonna see
It's
Bosco.
like experiment.
You're gonna see
He said that.
the group of three is near the blacksmith, and you're just gonna see Bosco walk up and not say anything, just stand there and sip his drink like.
So that was at the end of that conversation.
Behind them, just standing, just minding his own business, eavesdropping.
In that case, as you approach, Lincoln looks up. He's like, Bosco, where'd you pick up this crowd?
They were handed to me off the ship.
Inagos?
Yeah, I had to bring them here. Those were my orders.
Did he say anything about this work for free or anything?
Yeah, he said get this man a new set of armor. He saved his life.
Yeah, and he said to find Korik for our reward.
Should-
Have you seen Korik?
M is being man. She's being something else. Won't let us see Quark. So should we just go get a Nago and take him up there and...
Come on, Bosco. You know the deal with Korik. He ain't here right now.
We also got a dinner to get to. With Dorley.
Well,
I got this crab.
This won't take long. You'll be in time for dinner.
Good.
But
yes.
So yeah, 100%. It's no worries. Obviously, if Inago's saying that
Really?
it's for payment, then it's for payment.
So happy. Wow. So happy. Thank you. I can't be grateful enough.
No, thank you. Inago's a close friend of mine. And at that point, you see actually Inago coming down the steps, and he's sort of scanning, looking around for someone, but he's not seeing them currently.
I'm gonna keep my eyes on that sucker right there. See where he goes.
If you guys want some insight on that, you can totally roll insight. You
love
four.
I would love to. Yes. Damn it! Nat one.
Is that bummer?
It's a 9.
Okay.
With
I got a 19.
19.
Bosco is
13.
locked in.
13.
19.
Two 19s. All right, so both of
Zoned
you,
in.
as he's looking around and you spin and see him coming down the stairs, you clock his eye level. He's looking for a halfling, and he's he can't quite find the person he's looking for. He just starts to walk over to M, and you notice that he's kind of got this sunkenness to him.
It's talking to M? Or is it just...
Yeah, he just waltzes over to it, asks for a drink, and just sort of sits down.
Should we be
Kinda
nosy?
sunken, shoulders pressed
Oh,
in.
definitely, 100%. I didn't know if he was talking. I'm gonna inch closer.
I'm gonna walk over there and not say anything and just kind of stand behind him.
You just like show up everywhere. Like,
The awkward guy at the bar.
As you start to approach from the other side, M sort of like gives him a nod, looks up, and he sort of swivels around. He goes, "Oh, Bosco, I was looking for you.
Oh, am I the one you're looking for?
I wanted to talk to you about something."
Give it to me straight.
All right, I'll give it to you straight for sure. You know, this this group you've got with you, they kind of saved my life, and it's kind of got me thinking a little bit. I've kind of had this revelation, you know, and I think it's about time that I guess I let you off the hook.
You're being serious?
I'm totally serious.
Man, you got me all tatted for this place and this vigil.
Look,
And now you're just gonna let me go?
you always... If you want to stay with it, I'm totally open to that, but...
It's really put a strain on my relationship, to be quite honest with you. So...
That's another thing. I know that you and Darley have got a baby on the way, so that's just another reason to sort of let you off the hook.
I can't be in a smuggling gang with a baby. So I think I
wouldn't say smuggling. Come on, now.
Smuggling.
Give us a
Smuggling.
Are we hearing
Oh,
this?
I'm listening 100%.
You guys are 100% listening in on this conversation. He's not being quiet about it.
Okay, Cedric is a little shocked at the word smuggling.
He didn't take them Bosco aside. He just basically was just like looking for him, and he's being totally open with whatever he's talking about.
If this is at the bar, do both of us hear it as well?
No, because I'm gonna come back to you guys. You guys haven't had your conversation yet, obviously, but this is all happening during when we'll be having your conversation.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I'm just so curious about how some refugees saving your life gave you this epiphany to fire me.
Dude, hey, you're not fired.
We never meant for him to
But
lose
it was-
his job.
It's Bosco. He'll find work somewhere else.
For Christ's
The man's
sake, look at the
nuts.
poor
I
man.
gotta raise pigs.
For Ilmater's sake, look at the poor man.
He'll probably be
that
way
matters,
better off
though.
not doing work for me.
He's suffering enough as it is.
I guess
It was a near-death experience, Bosco.
we'll
And I've
we'll
got a different
mutually
outlook on
part
life.
ways here.
And I have nothing but thanks for you three.
It's like a moo before it turned into a mummy.
If you guys weren't on that ship, I'd probably be at the bottom of the sea at this point.
We're very grateful you brought us.
And probably.
Did you get your armor fixed?
He's fixing it right now.
Excellent. Can I buy you a drink?
I've already had one.
I hold up.
Why don't I buy you a drink?
Oh.
I'm not gonna say no to that.
Great. What would you like?
Ale's my thing.
All right.
Inago, can I be quite honest with you? I'm very grateful that you're letting me go, because I'm getting called towards something else. It's pulling me.
What are you gonna be called?
I'm gonna become an artist.
Well, as I was gonna say, my girlfriend's an artist, so why don't you pull that joke in front of her?
Not even there.
He's not even here listening.
He's imagining these things.
Yeah.
It's like a thought bubble.
Oh yeah.
My body and mind are somewhere else. I'm just not in it anymore, so thank you.
Thank you, Bosco, for putting up with it all.
Bosco reaches over and gives him a handshake like that. Pulls him in.
One of those big
Pat on the
like
back.
arm shakes.
No, grabs the hand. Pat on the back.
He 100% returns it. All right, well.
I got found up.
An ale for Inago here, please.
Yes, certainly. She hands you another one. Sorry, he hands Inago one. He sort of chugs it, throws it back, slams it down. Well then, I gotta head out and get the next shipment over here.
Before you go, you told us to meet Korik here. You know where we can find him?
Your guess is as good as mine. He's a busy man, and he doesn't see people from out of town very lightly, especially the likes of y'all.
What's he look like?
What's he look like? He's a halfling like me.
Cedric looks around at all the other halflings, and that narrows nothing down.
Great.
He's got blonde hair, pretty blue eyes. He's a pretty boy. You can't miss him. He's wears this fucking fancy ass red coat.
Blue eyes, red coat, pretty boy. All right.
But yeah, again, your guess is as good as mine. I just got here just like you did. I've been gone for 2 weeks. I don't know where he is.
She's itching to meet him.
I just want a surfboard. That's all.
You got a thing for pretty boys?
Pretty boys who are taller, but sure.
Damn, that hurts.
I'm
He goes back
sorry.
to his
You
sunken
said halfling,
attitude.
and then we immediately were like, all right, that's that. Moving on. I just want my reward. I'm glad you know, this near-death experience changed you, but
It certainly did.
got a living.
It certainly did. I'm gonna go back at it with some regained vigor. It's a pleasure to see all you again. Maybe we'll run into each other in the future. And he says his adieu and starts to leave. Alright, so we're gonna go over to the Gax and Aragar. And you guys see, tucked away in the corner, this sound that's emanating from here. It's almost this amphitheater. So like, the sound just isn't coming from here. It's all
Like enveloping
around.
us.
Yeah, and there's a tone to it that's just different. It's not your classic medieval tone. You see, one of them is kind of on a flute, another one's on a lyre or a violinish kind of instrument, and then there's another one that's kind of sitting on a chair, and they've got a couple of drums, and then this long kind of crystal piece that has like a silvery like hue on top, and as the drummer is kind of hitting it, that's what's making this like bass tone that just like emanates around, kind of like almost like a lo-fi beat that's just like going on in this atmosphere. The group themselves are also a trio of halflings. You can see they have a little name card that's called the Short Stack Symphony. And they've got like a little small like cup or a mug that's just sort of sitting there for donations. There's 2 male halflings and a female halfling. They're all roughly about the same age. They look like they should be chummy and good friends. But they've all got different vibes going on. One's got kind of like this Backstreet Boy vibe going on. Another one's got this
The frosted tips.
kind of like that Green Day with like
turns around. I'm
not a tie per se, but he's got like a nicely buttoned up like tunic. And then the girl is wearing like this like plaid skirt with like a black shirt on, just a basic black shirt. And they're just going at it as you guys approach.
Looking at their tip jar, how much money do they got in there?
A couple of coppers, and that's about it.
Okay.
But the music is tremendous. It is in no way like their kind of shit. It's just like what you know from what M told you. They've basically done whatever they could, made whatever they could, so that they can pay someone for their friend
Yeah,
to
the
aid
treatment,
them.
yeah.
That's what you know about them at this point. So what are you doing?
Is the friend that they're trying to aid, he's not there with them, right? Or is he?
No, that friend is not in this. There's only 3 of them.
Okay.
As I start walking closer, I guess I put up my hand to kind of like get their attention.
Sure. Yeah, as you start doing that, they're like, hold on 1 second. You wait a couple of seconds, and they finally close out a song, and then the music kind of just like stops in the area.
If they're at a normal table, I'll sit down at their table. My name is Gax. I am a healer. I heard your friend is sick. How can I help?
One of the, not the drummer, but the male halfling that is on the violin, steps forward. Hey, well, I'm Silvo. This is, Pop and, Desi over here. Yeah, how'd you hear about that? Em tell you something?
Yes, she did.
Yeah, he's not doing too well. He's a good pal of ours, and he got sick recently.
With the plague or something else?
Whatever everyone else is getting, with the boils, it's kind of nasty looking.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, we were on our way to go to the Asgorn Idol. You ever heard of it?
Have I ever heard of it?
Give me a history check.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Can I also roll?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's not.
Yeah. 7.
4.
7-4. You two, unfortunately, have not heard of it, but from the nature of it and that they're a band, it's some sort of show competition.
Yeah, sounds about right. What was the name of it again?
Asgorn Idol.
Oh. I feel
Maybe
like
it was.
I felt like there was a joke in here, but
So I
I
didn't hear idol. I thought you said isle, as in like maybe it's like an archipelago, like they're going to an island, like maybe there's a healer there or something.
Asgorn
Like
Idol, as in
Okay.
American Idol.
makes more sense.
Yes, yes.
I also misheard.
I feel like it's appropriate
Yeah,
that
right?
the two slight outsiders are nowhere.
But yeah, no, we were set to go, but Balin got sick, and we had to use all the savings we had, and they've all gone to try to at least maintain him. The healing that he gets is only slows it. It doesn't cure it. So,
I see.
yeah, he got sick after his night shift. He's the only one of us that does like extra work on the side. Usually we're pretty well off, but he likes to get into the snuff, so he pays for it himself. He took up a job as a night shift guard for the and they point back, and there you see in the back corner there's kind of like this uphill slant, and you can see multiple guards that are just like stationed at this door that's kind of just locked shut. Some sort of storage room, and yeah, he wasn't feeling well, and then he left, and then we didn't see him the next day, and we found him at the camp, and he was covered in these acid burns and boils.
Has he had any altercations with anyone?
I mean, we work in a tavern.
Do you know if he's eaten and or drinking anything funny recently?
I mean, he's just been eating the normal stuff, I feel like. Just the smoked meats, and he likes to drink ale. He likes his snuff. It's about all the guy does, other than jamming out.
When you guys are not playing together, do you hang out, live together, same spaces, or do you guys have your own areas?
I mean, we hang out at night. We've got a tent, but it's, I mean, I don't know what kind of proximity you're talking about. Like, we're around each other all the time.
Okay.
But, yeah, I mean, we're still looking to go to the Asgorn Idol, but we only go if Balin can come with us.
I see. Would you say that, like, lizard or shit? What languages can you speak, Argar?
Draconic and common.
Perfect. I switch over to Draconic to speak to Argar so that they cannot understand me.
Sure.
I think the only different place is that area that he guards. If they sleep, eat, and do the same things together, that's the only different place where he could contract something like this.
Seems like that.
And then I'll switch back to common. I'm not sure if I can fully cure what he has, but I might be able to alleviate a lot of it.
Well, I mean, whatever you can do would be great.
Gax, being who he is straight up going to, right here, right now, make his potion.
Okay. You find another booth to just sort of like set up shop.
Yeah,
Just
so he pulls out his bag, pulls out his herbalism kit and everything that he needs to make, and I think he only has 3 ingredients left to make breakthroughs, because I think that's the one that I'm supposed to make, isn't it? Yeah. So I'll make it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to not follow him. I'm just going to stay where I am, but I am going to turn, keep an eye on him, and then kind of scan the rest of the room. Make sure nothing else happens so he's not distracted by anything. But I don't move, so it's just kind of this. I'm just standing there.
And as I'm making it, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to try and post my bag up so that people can't see how much I'm cutting, like the proportions and everything like that. I'm trying to be as secretive as I can about at least the recipe for what I'm making.
Okay. I guess give me a stealth check, I suppose. Either that or a sleight of hand.
I'll do a stealth check for you. Oh, hell yeah. 23.
Okay. Excellent. Excuse me. Yeah, so you start to basically put out your herbalism kit. It starts to give off this kind of like weird bubbling.
Yeah.
There's this weird, like, almost acrid smell that starts to like waft out from these breakthroughs. Obviously it's normal to you, but the other patrons start to like kind of like peek up their head, like, and you can see them sort of like talking to each other, like, what the f is this guy doing? Like,
I don't even hear any of that. I'm just in my zone.
you don't sense any trouble,
Yeah.
but they're definitely paying more attention to you in the room.
I do.
You've kind of been unnoticed up until this point.
Yeah.
Do we notice this?
You're not in the. We're
You guys
still
have
in the
been
bar.
chatting
Yeah.
with
Oh,
all
oh,
that.
I see.
That was all going on during that time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would say this though, if they were chatting during that, they probably would smell if this thing is just absolutely reeking of like herbalism and all this type of stuff.
You're on the opposite end of the room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this place is again smelled with like a smoky It's just the nearby patrons that are kind of looking at
Okay.
Gotcha.
That works for me.
you.
How far is the wobbly sack from here? Actually, is it like? Is it out? You said it was out in the market, so never, if it's out in the
It's
market,
out
I'm
in the
not
market
leaving.
area. Yeah.
Okay, I'll deal with that
And
later.
Em also told us to be careful of the market as well.
Yeah.
Just that's up yet.
So yeah, let's hop over to Nixel. Yeah, so you're trying to dodge, maneuver through to catch back up to Darley. She's hasty. She's just chugging along with her bunches of like materials and trinkets and stuff that she had brought from wherever she stores them. You eventually catch up. Oh, I thought you were staying.
No, I'm much more interested in this lavrosite that you spoke of. Here, let me help you carry your things.
Well, that's very generous of you. She hands them over in kind of questionably, but
Right.
she's...
Sling them over and just keep walking beside her.
Yeah, you guys keep going. You eventually leave kind of through this like arching part of the wall, and you see on the outskirts of the wall is just bunches of tents. There's a couple of small homes, like very small homes. They don't necessarily match the ones that are in the port area itself. These look more homegrown, homemade, essentially. And out here you see a lot of halflings. There are a couple of human guards that are just sort of like maintaining the area, walking through and about the roads in between. At this point, it's kind of the sun is starting to set a little bit on the horizon, so you get this just wonderful view of the savannah that's out here. Past all of these like encampments that have just been like closely knit together, you can see this straight up almost a line where these encampments have stopped on an edge, right? And then the savannah keeps going. It's like they've been halted there for a particular reason. It's a bit odd looking. On the left side, so further inwards, you can see just this ledge that goes up a couple 100 feet. So you can see that Port Vishar has been kind of like tucked into this nook that is like a lower part along the Gulf. All right. On the other side, you can see just the beach area, the Gulf, just looking out. The sunset's looking wonderful, casting just beautiful, vibrant colors everywhere. You can see large, just the same trees that the houses are made of in the distance, just sort of jutting out. And then even further than that, give me a perception check.
7.
7. A bit further in the distance, you can see what looks to be some crags that are sort of like stone kind of jutting out from where that ledge is. But that's about, I mean, it just looks more dry and like it's just a savanna. It's pretty grasslandy. There's a couple of rolling hills here and there, but then there's like in the further back portion, there's just all these jutting out like craggy rocks and things. As you're traversing this area, you also can see along the way what looks to be this. There's a signpost that's just like fair warning, plague outbreak, stay clear if not infected. And then there's just this large area of people where you see like kind of just laying on cots all over the place. There's a couple of kind of like bizarre market stalls that are kind of like covering a couple of them. But other than that, most, with a 7, you can see that most of them are halflings, but there are the occasional like human or elf in there as well. You don't see any dragonborn or any of that in there. This way, quickly, as Darley sort of like keeps pushing you towards, and eventually you come to a small little hut. And you can see around it in the back area, there's a couple of, I think 3 pigs, right? Pigs?
Yes.
Pigs. And it's got a little fence around it. There's wonderful flowers and things that are kind of just sitting in their respective positioning and making it look all floral and nice. In no way does it look like a hobbit home. It's just more of like a nicely structured hut. And as she walks you inside, you're immediately enveloped by this just comforting aroma of like a past breakfast. Sizzling sausages that are just lingering in the air, roasted potatoes, and then give me a separate perception check.
Worse, that's a 4.
The most you get with that is kind of like there's this, like a fire. You know, like there was a fire going and now it's out.
Right.
That kind of smoky smell.
Right.
As you walk inside, every wall in this joint is adorned with these like eclectic paintings of like the scenery that you just saw walking this way. They're made from the viewpoint of like this artist must have been on the edge and just sort of looking out at this landscape, and this was just like drawing it. The other stuff you see in here, there's a comfortable, well-worn armchair just sort of sitting by the window. There's a lot of clutter in here as well. Every item in this place, however, has even though it's seemingly out of place, it has this own unique story and purpose to it. At least that's the sense that you get walking into this place. There's kinds of like pots and pans hanging from hooks and shelves that are just lined with herbs and spices all over the place. There's a wooden table that just occupies the center part of the room. And, yeah. Darley invites you inside, and, well, this is the humble abode. Make yourself at home. I'll go put on some dandelion wine. Do you like dandelion wine?
Delicious, thank you. I wouldn't want to put this in the wrong place. Or would you like me to set this down?
What is that?
It's the bag of goodies that she gave to me to carry.
Oh, okay. You just toss it over there.
On the desk here?
Yeah.
And I set it gently down on the desk.
You hear like the clang of
all the little bits and bobs.
Bits and pieces that are in there. Give me another investigation check, actually.
Investigation 15.
All right. So as Darley is sort of turns around, maneuvers away. She starts to get going, cooking, turning on the pot and kettle. You can see that there's just this giant ass crab that's just chilling. And she starts to just like rip the fucking arms off of it.
Hell yeah, she's going at
Beating
it.
it with a hammer. And then just starts to cook away. The pot starts to boil. You get that nice smell. You see her cutting up some butter and like spicing that shit up with all the spices. But with your investigation check of 15, while she's doing this, you sort of peer a little bit around, just sort of sitting there, like waiting, kind of like. She's not saying much. She sort of just is humming a tune to herself. She's like, she's very la-di-da. And you look over and you see a couple of blueprints that are not for fixing. There's a clock in the background that's just sort of like ticking. But for creating some sort of ocular piece within the clock. The gadget looks as if it would be made to be inserted into the clock. And this isn't like a grandfather clock, it's more of like one of those like bedside table clocks.
Okay.
So, what are you doing?
I'll say to Darley, I'm sorry, my wandering eye can't help but notice these blueprints here.
Oh yeah, that's actually what the lavrosite's for. You see, I've got a baby on the way, and I was trying to create some sort of like an alarm clock, or like a baby monitor.
Fascinating.
But I can't get the lavrosite.
You mentioned that.
It's too dangerous, and I don't want Bosco going out by himself.
Explain to me how this could be dangerous. It seems like the savannah, at least from what I saw, looks rather peaceful.
Well, I mean, the animals are getting quite aggressive recently. Ever since this plague outbreak happened, the animals have been encroaching, and it's been very dangerous to go out there.
Has anyone
I've
noticed?
seen multiple bodies at this point being dragged back.
Bodies of halflings.
Halflings, humans.
That is concerning.
But the lavrosite is actually in those crags in the back. But
Near the ledge.
yeah. You gotta do quite a bit of digging to get there. I know it's there because there was I before all this happened, there was mass production. They were bringing it in, but now it's kind of been unreachable. It's all been shipped out by the Crow's Vigil.
Has anyone filed reports of these animals being affected by the plague? Similar symptoms?
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't know him, but Wild Weather Bee is usually he has a hunting party, but He's been rather unsuccessful, and he won't go back out and endanger any more lives. No one wants to join him.
That's understandable.
And that's saying something for him, because the tusks are worth a lot of money.
The tusks?
Yeah, the tusks.
I assume we're speaking of a boar?
A boar, yes. One of the boar tusks for its ivory can actually go for about 20 gold. And that's just the small ones. But the main concern is the lavricite. Would you be willing to set up some sort of party? I know Bosco might bring that group back. Maybe you could join them. Lead the way.
I'm a cautious person, Darley. However, there may be something we can do.
All right, fair enough. Obviously, we just met. Haven't even had dinner yet. But I guess I should get back to that. Is there anything else?
I noticed this area was densely populated by halflings, with a few humans here and there.
Yeah.
Can you tell me any more about Agaros and the people that reside within Agaros?
Well, I mean, Agaros of it as itself is draconic in nature. Most of the natural inhabitants are draconic. There are the lizard folk, which are close relatives to them. They're not necessarily draconic. But they're the natives of Agros.
The draconic and the lizard folk.
Yes.
And where would they be found, if not in Port Fisher?
Well, Port Fisher was created as a safe harbor for those who were refugees and coming from other places. From what I understand, the spell plague hit multiple parts of Faerun, and people found their way to this unknown continent on the other side of the Sea of Fallen Stars. I'm not sure how much you know about Faerun.
Not much. I spend most of my time in the Fey worlds.
Remarkable. What's that like?
Well, I'd say it was similar to here. My house looks similar to yours, however, the fauna is quite different.
The way I've always imagined it is just glowing lights everywhere. Bioluminescence.
It's rather remarkable, if I do say so.
I would love, at some point, to be able to just sit and admire it. But yeah, that's the extent of the history that I know about it.
Do you happen to know where I might find these Dragonborn?
I mean, there's a couple in Port Visher. They make their way through. The lizard folk have the Vesh clan has also make their way through to Asgora, which is the capital of Agros, for trading and even council. As far as I'm aware, they have very diplomatic relations with one another. They're very connected, even though they're spread apart. But I should probably get back to making dinner, otherwise I'm going to be behind.
Of course. Please, don't let me stall you anymore.
And she starts her humming back up and goes back to making her buttered crab. And I think we're gonna have a little break right there. I think that feels nice. So yeah, we'll be back in just a few moments. So yeah, we're back in the Brew and Stew in the nest, and I need all of you that are in the nest to roll a perception check.
Oh, come on.
Nat 20. That's 11. 20 roll, but
30,
Perception?
20 for
6.
me.
8. 18.
8.
Alright. So, with the natural 20,
I mean, -1.
as you guys are kind of just getting the feel, getting the gist, finishing your drinks, you see a figure, Ares. Kind of, also a halfling, or at least they're short. They're cloaked, they've got a hood cloaked over them, and they're kind of sneaking up to the bar, trying not very hard, but like they're trying to keep a low profile for sure. They don't remove their hood when they get there. They don't seem particularly dangerous in any way. You notice this person is wearing some dark feathers underneath this cloak, this kind of black cloak that she is wearing. You notice that it is a she, and based on like the form of her, and she just goes to one of the back, like a far part of the bar, and just grabs a drink. You notice that it is a cider, and it's not about being seen from. You get a little bit of a gist that like she's trying to be low profile from all the patrons in general, and that the barkeep understands this and respects it.
Do I see them with a dirty 20 or no?
You would also see the figure, yes, enter.
About an 18.
Anyone who's got more than a 10 definitely notices this person enter.
No.
It's just Ares notices all of this extra particular things about this person.
What about under 10? I got a 6.
Don't worry about it.
I don't even see this person.
Yeah.
I'm just staring while Gax is working. That's it.
Go back to
But basically, this
Exactly, yeah.
me engaging with your role is like me essentially giving you the stage. What do you do with this information?
She's not talking to anybody or anything. She just went and sat.
You notice all this about them, and you can choose to sort of like nudge your buddies and be like, "What's up with that person?" Or like you could totally just ignore it, keep it to yourself. You could go up yourself and not even tell any of your people around you. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do.
I think I definitely want to. She's not talking to anybody though, right? She's just sitting there. I think I definitely
Yes,
want
she
to move
is sitting
closer to
alone.
try to hear if she has any conversation that's going on.
She's 100% sitting alone.
Alright, I think I'll nudge you and just be like, hey, wait, what did you roll? You didn't know anything, right? You didn't know anything.
No clue.
I'm gonna just like nod over there and be like, check this person out.
What about her?
I don't know, a little sneaky, a little suspicious.
Do you want to go talk to her?
I don't know if I want to talk to her straight up, but I want to know what's going on with her. Like she doesn't want to be seen for some reason. Anyways, I'm just kind of letting you know that, so I'm gonna head over this way and scare her.
Well, if you put it that way.
As you guys are sort of conversing with each other,
Don't let me know.
Yeah, don't let Beady Eyes. That's his nickname, Beady Eyes.
entering,
This is all hushed,
makes
so she cannot hear what I'm
she
saying.
can't hear you, but she is definitely she's keeping a low profile, but she's also looking around, and she does make eye contact with you guys.
Ooh.
She has essentially gives you like that I've noticed you look.
Even if we didn't notice her.
Yeah, who's doing an eye contact?
Like,
with?
yeah.
Clearly he's
I
not
rolled a
looking.
6, so she's looking at me and I'm like.
There's no eye
You can
contact.
tell that if you don't make eye contact, she's still sort of like scanning the area, and it's like that double take. Like, was that person just looking at me?
Oh,
Like you get that sense of like
You said she was.
she has marked you or noticed you in some way,
You said she was.
I mean, we
halfway?
stuck out as
including you
outsiders,
two.
probably.
Yeah,
For sure.
including you two.
I mean, I hope so. I'm quite literally just have like a cauldron right in front of me. There's like a little fire going. I'm like,
But
Yeah.
she doesn't say anything. She doesn't make any faces. She's just looking.
Let's go talk.
And she goes back to sort of like tapping on her drink and taking another swig.
would you say at this point that I finished my brew?
Did it have a time on it?
No, it's not.
What kind of thing was it? Like the style of making it?
It's grounding stuff up.
I don't know.
And it says 75 PO. I don't know what that means for the.
Don't worry about that.
Okay.
So that one would probably take you about an hour to do.
Okay.
So I'd say you're probably still working on that.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are you guys doing?
You said let's go talk to her.
Let's go. Perhaps you should lead. Might be a friendlier face, you know.
I guess. It's just us that's going over there, or could you notice? Right?
Yeah.
I'm saying.
If I notice them walking over, I'll like put my bag over my shoulder with with my little concoction. I'll just start walking over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I see
just-
this and still stay where I'm standing this entire
So
time.
Good
you
choice.
guys,
I'm like
you guys
walking over,
definitely
just
see him just sort of like grinding something
Yeah.
with like a grindstone, and it's got this like
walking over.
acrid smell to it.
Like a mortar and pestle almost?
Yeah, mortar and pestle, basically. Yeah.
Just vibing.
And she's just sitting there, sort of tapping.
All right. Well, do we have a drink? Do we have a drink in hand? I don't know. I'm gonna go over there and I'm just be like, sit right down and be like, what you drinking there? Can I buy you another drink?
She pulls the hood down a little bit, and now you see kind of like this, like, not bushy, but like very wavy, curly hair that stops about right here. And you can see as she turns towards you, the three marks on her eye, like a tattoo that have 3 streaks that go up. And she has a very young, pleasant face. And as she turns to you, she goes, "Hi, I'm Macy Shadowmouse. I'm the magistrate of Port Fisher."
Oh.
What?
Great.
Okay.
I see someone's let you into the nest.
Is she eyeing Bosco? Is she eyeing him? Or are you eyeing him?
Where's
Or are you?
Bosco at?
I'm just sitting down here. Anyone could have done this, not me.
Are you guys new in town?
Just arrived.
Just arrived. And you're already in the nest? That's strange. How'd you get in here?
We make friends fast. We're pretty likable.
Inago
Well, that's always good.
put in a word for us.
I like likable people. Makes things easier to do when people get along, right? Inago, you said?
Perhaps.
Dumb.
Thinking about what he said. Second time.
I hope he didn't take anything from you.
Take anything.
He's a rapscallion, that one.
We're finding that out slowly.
Well,
Oh, he loves us. Don't worry.
it's a pleasure to meet you. Are you guys looking for any kind of work or anything? I mean, what are your intentions here in Agaros, in Port Fisher?
I'll let you take the lead there.
Heard anything about the Grey Withers?
Stops in her tracks, yeah. You can, if you would like, you can have an insight check on.
Yes,
Him?
please.
Yeah, she definitely stops for a minute.
Can I also make an insight check?
Yeah, no. Anyone who's around can all roll
okay.
insight. Sorry,
Sure,
I was
right.
just speaking to him.
I'm not close, but I can see.
Watch.
Ooh! Nat 20.
Woo!
Nat
Other
20?
guys?
I did not.
I got 19, 20, 21, 25.
I got an 8. So.
8.
I got a 1 for a
Nice.
7.
Nice. You got your stinky breakthroughs.
Yeah, I'm just don't even care about the conversation at this point. I'm just making my thing.
With the nat 20, this pause, you see in her face just sort of like, it's almost in this, oh, F those people again. Someone's bringing those people up again. What could be possibly wrong now? Oh, what the hell are they up to at this point? And she says to you, and I would say that you clock it and you clock it as well.
Who?
Me and
Aries and
Do I not?
you still like this.
So for you, Raph, obviously, so like when I'm making these like group checks, if I specifically point out that when you do a group check and I am pointing to someone in particular, it's for them to do with that information what they want. That's the kind of like game aspect of it, right? So you have now the meta knowledge, but
Yes.
he and her will actually be the ones to sort of like give this information out to the group, right? Because they rolled those high rolls out of the group roll. Because if I took the average, then yeah, everyone would understand this.
Yes.
But what I'm doing is I'm helping them play the game by saying, hey, this is your thing now. This is your piece to like put together.
So we won't know.
Yes.
And if they've rolled higher, they're just naturally just more insightful than the rest of the group, which they'll catch on to things easier. So they'll probably say things about it first or react in different ways. We were on the
Pause.
the pause, yeah. The Grey Withers. I can't say I quite like that name. Remind me what the exact question was.
Have you heard?
Have you? Do you know anything about the
Yeah.
Grey Withers, or? Yeah.
I think it was. Do you know anything, or have you heard anything about this?
Well, I mean, their boat did arrive. One of their boats arrived just this morning, but has since shipped out again. The Crow's Vigil actually unloads most of it.
So they'd have more information.
Yeah, if you search around within the Crow's Vigil, I'm sure you could find someone who's moved some materials or interacted with them in some way. know of anybody on the rock that saw anything unusual or anybody leaving. They usually don't leave anyone behind. It's usually just a dump.
Interesting.
Yeah, they unload and they carry on.
What do they bring
Why do you
here?
ask? Say that again?
What is it that they're bringing here?
Different supplies, but they're most well known for their snuff.
Do you have any?
The Crow's Vigil usually is in charge of distribution.
Do you have any personal business or history with them?
Not me, no. Korik usually does all the dealings with them.
That's good to know. Thank you.
But in all honesty, if it would be helpful to keep that kind of on the down low, I'm trying to keep this place together, and that's what I'm struggling with, actually.
What's wrong?
Well, there's a group of vigilantes that are kind of stirring the pot about this whole plague thing. Some are blaming it on the Crow's Vigil. Some are blaming it on the Lizard Folk, the clan from Vesh. And I'm afraid it's going to get out of control. There's riots that are already starting to happen.
Do they have a name for themselves? This group?
I'm uncertain of the name of these vigilantes. So far, it's been easy to place the guard and take care of them. They seem a bit disorganized, but that can ensue chaos.
Where do
If
they
it's
come
not
from?
kept in
Are
check.
they your own kind, halfling, human,
All manner.
all manner?
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys look like, you're doing something there.
At
You
this
look
point,
like you
I'm
could
gonna
be a
walk
healer.
up to next to Gax. So I'm joining the conversation, but walking up like side by side with Gax. So
I am. My name is Gax Urat.
Oh, Gex Urop. You're actually supposed to meet with Danry Applefoot, yeah?
Yes, I am.
Have you been there yet?
No, not yet.
I
I got roped into these individuals before I was able to go.
Well, I mean, what are the rest? He's a healer. Do you? The rest of you heal, or are you warriors?
I am a traveling healer.
Are you for hire, essentially? That's what I'm asking, basically. I need. A,
Oh, we're always
I need a group of people who are willing to sort of go undercover and investigate these vigilantes and see if you can sort out what's causing it all.
Oh, that's me. That's me right here.
Hey, Bosco.
if there's something in it for us, then yes.
If the price is right.
Oh, of course. There will be payment, for sure. I wouldn't ask you otherwise.
To keep the peace. I'll do it. Of course.
Your sigil... Are you a part of a group?
Yes, there is a following.
Interesting.
Let me find that following.
Yeah.
Un momento.
Un momento.
I've been graciously accepted into the Paladins of Her Mercy.
I'm not quite familiar with them. Are they from Asgora?
Yes. There is a temple.
Yeah, they've got. The reason I ask you to do this in secret is that I'm trying to watch not only my own back and the backs of all of the people in Port Fisher, but I just don't want the Crow's Vigil to... I mean, I have an affinity for the Crow's Vigil. I mean, I'm a halfling. They are essentially my people. And I don't want blame coming down on them when it's not them, right? So, as Gora and the Great Moolah have already started sending, I think I saw an immortal actually in the port recently, and I don't know what his intentions are here, but they're keeping a close eye, and it's a bit nerve-wracking. You would know, actually, that the immortals, just you, Zarzaros. Actually, you guys know who the immortals are as well. The immortals are this dragon-born warriors that are known to be like the fiercest combatants. They are the ones that are sent into battle when everything else fails. They're the main guard, and they have very intimidating looking, like shimmering armor, and they all carry these massive halberds with them. And then all of them have this clutching on their armor. They have like a dragon's claw that is clutching a purple gem. As she's talking to you guys, some of the general like patrons in the Brew and Stew actually start to get a little bit intrigued. They start picking up their head and they're like, is that Macy Shadowmouse? As they start to get a little bit rowdy, they start sort of like coming closer, and they're like almost getting on her case, basically inquiring about what she's doing for space. You hear like, what are we doing about space, Magistrate? We need more space. We can't go out any further because it's getting far too crowded. The animals are getting dangerous. Like, what are we going to do? And she basically responds trying to be like, look, we can't sacrifice the Visharan Guard right now. It's a civil unrest at its worst. The people are blaming you all and Clan Vesh, and everyone's uneasy, so I'm doing my best. Okay? We have to keep the guards to maintain order and civility, alright, guys? Just please, be patient with me, and we will work all of this out. I know it's a troubling time. Please, just have my back as I have always had yours. And they sort of like, kind of like, still talking, a little bit of grumbling here and there, but they like settle back down and go back to their seats. Sorry about that. You can see what I'm dealing with. That's why I'm actually here. I don't usually come in here, but I need a little bit of space.
From the incessant questions.
Yeah, from the incessant questions.
It seems like a lot, and I think we're willing to help and restore some peace and civility to the area.
Well, that's excellent. Excellent news.
How do we get in contact with members of the Crow's Vigil to ask questions or ascertain whether
to answer that question, actually, how about you guys come by tomorrow morning? and we'll get you a contract for payment.
Will this allow us to
And
explore
my
the
top guard will give you information on anything that we already know in hopes that you guys can investigate. Fair enough?
Sounds good.
I assure you we can... The contract will be well worth your while.
I've heard that going to the marketplace is tenuous for us. And I point to me.
That is right. You should be careful.
Will this not help us?
Just put a cloak on. You might be able to pass as Dragonborn.
I guess. Thank you for the warning.
It was nice to meet you all. I guess I'll finish up my drink here and I guess get back to my duties.
It was nice to meet you, Mason. Thank you for trusting us.
I just do a slight head bow.
I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow morning.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent. Bosco, that means you too.
Bosco tips his kettle helm.
Thinking about that dance.
I'm gonna wait for if everybody gets up and walks away and stuff like that. If it's just me and her, I'll grab her hand and I say, I've been in a position where people ask me a lot of questions as well about why, how come, and all of such. Keep answering questions and they start to die down faster. Good luck. And then I'll let go of her hand and I'll rejoin the group.
Thanks for the advice. And she finishes up her drink, puts on the table, and starts to head out of the Brew and Stew. So, what are you guys doing? At this point, Lincoln Butch, I think, yells across. He's like, "Hey, your armor's done."
Oh, yes.
I'm
I'll-
saying good
I'll
luck.
head
Good
over
luck.
and as I get to him, I'll kind of put my hand out and go for a handshake, and I'll have a piece of
100%.
I'll have one gold piece for him in my hand as I shake his hand. Thanks for the work.
Thank you. I hope it's sufficient.
Did I finish my
Yeah, you finished it.
I will put it into a vial, or I'll put all of it into a vial, and I'd say I probably made at least like a day or two's worth or something like that. Probably a little bit more, and I'll walk back over to
How about you just give me a roll? Give me a herbalism kit check.
Oh.
So add your proficiency and your
Wisdom?
Yeah.
Alright. There is my proficiency. Where is my proficiency bonus? Am I blind? Initiative, honor, class, conditions. Proficiency, where are you?
Proficiency bonus
Yeah,
2.
plus 2, yeah. That's 2 push. 19.
19.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make a good amount of like a good amount for I'd say probably 2 vials
Okay.
of breakthroughs.
Yeah. I walk over to the bards. I put the 2 vials down. Give him a third of a vial each day. And I hope for improvements.
They just sort of like continue their instruments. They see and they engage with you, and they just sort of like nod, as in understanding.
I start to walk away and then turn around real quick. After he eats. Give it to him after he eats.
I almost forgot. You hear the slightest of them like sort of chuckling on the flute. And then you guys got your armor back.
Yes, and I'll don it right away, and I'll
At this
replace
point,
that
it's been
stone
about
still in the cloth.
Okay. It's been about 2.5 hours at this point. So you guys, Bosco, you would know that Darley's probably got dinner cooking and basically made at this point.
Cause I think we gotta, we're all invited back for dinner at my place, so if you wanna come and join, I guess. Come on.
Who am I to deny your hospitality?
Oh yeah, my Darley, man, she's an excellent cook.
A fresh meal sounds wonderful.
Yeah, long voyage.
Before I join, I do want to pick up my components.
So yeah,
So you would know that the wobbly sack is in the opposite direction of where.
Of course it is.
so we're gonna have to talk about that. It's in another direction, but I'm also not welcome.
You just hear a grumble, and I just clearly, the body language is like, oh, okay. It just follows with.
You grumble, I'm
slowly
laughing.
getting more and more pissed.
Yeah.
So you're gonna see Bosco just hastily, I want food. And
Bosco, is this does this include lodgings, or is this gonna be a
we
have to go to the inn?
You would know that your house is much too small for.
That's what I was gonna get at.
I've got like 5-foot ceilings. I don't know how you're fitting in there. More than welcome to join for the meal, but last time I checked, the raised roof was no vacancy. But you'll have to go check that out yourself. Well, there are plenty of tents. Plenty of tents.
Alrighty. If nothing else, then you guys start to make your way back through. You again go through the archway. You see the wonderful view out. It's a little bit more quiet out here. The sun has officially set at this point. It's a little bit darker. You can see there's multiple campfires all over. And as you guys walk by, you also can see the sign for the plague outbreak. And then a bunch of like that scenario where you got a bunch of cots laying out. Most of them, these people have been like covered in blankets for the night. Yeah.
Could I do a quick perception check just to
Sure.
look at their injuries?
Oh, can I do that as well?
Son of a 11. Not too bad.
Ooh, nat 20.
Nat 20.
Damn.
Y'all be cooking. Y'all roll like a couple of times and you're all rolling nat 20s. What are you specifically looking for?
The worst of the worst in terms of ailments. People as close to death's door as they can be.
You see a couple of humans kind of like throwing the deceased into wagons and then sort of like carting them off. You would expect that around that area is probably the worst of the worst. The thing with this plague, as you're sort of like looking around at the people, is even the ones that are like newly infected, they look horrible. Like it's very quick acting. And with the natural 20 perception check, from this distance, you see the plague and the acid burns and boils, they look similar to the ones that you were accustomed to back in Archendale.
Mm-hmm.
But the outside area of them have this like necrosis to it, as if it's flesh eating in some way.
Do I see sigils on all of them?
Make a perception check for me.
Which die should I use? This is going to give me a good roll. Oh, finally. What was the perception?
Yeah.
18.
From the distance you're at, I can confirm that you don't see any sigils that look like what you guys are accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
This plague is either represents itself differently on
Different races.
different races, different species, or it is something different entirely.
Oh.
But does it have the same symptoms, visual symptoms, not talking about the sigils, that we've seen before?
The visual symptoms are similar, yes.
Okay. And then with my perception check, I was just trying to look for like the stages, if that makes any sense. So like trying to perceive somebody that is on like their first day of it in comparison to somebody that's on like their last day of it.
Again, even with his nat 20,
Yeah.
like so he was. It was very hard to discern who was who.
Oh, okay.
Do I see any children affected?
There's a couple of. Actually, no. There's no children.
No children.
No children.
Do I see any elderly affected? Anyone who would be more heavily affected by this? Not the young and healthy. Someone who would need extra care is what I'm trying to look for.
If you're not actually walking through this like refugee camp, essentially, you wouldn't really be able to discern that from where you're at. If you were to walk through it, then yeah, but
I kind of want to. I kind of do at least want to walk up to this camp.
sure.
So if I'll say the nat 20, like I noticed there are lots of people being affected, and I want to see if there's anyone who needs extra care. So I do walk up to the camp. Maybe not do like a full round to take up everyone's time, but I at least walk up to it.
All right. You see a couple of people there that are wearing kind of just like these long like cream togas, and they all have kind of like these like blackbird tattoos all over themselves and things, all associated with the Crow's Vigil. At least that's the vibe you're getting, because you also notice that in the Brew and Stew as well.
And on the ship.
And as you're sort of poking around,
Yeah, I if I have, if it's not obvious before, I nudged him and noticing that he was a healer. Like, your useful come with me.
as you guys are sort of like poking around, you don't notice any difference between like you find the same style of stuff on more older halflings and humans than as well as the young ones. It's pretty similar regardless, and it all looks pretty terrible and painful.
As I'm walking through, at least, Gax has his, or I have my own medical book out, my own herbalisms, all of my recipes and all of the illnesses that I've treated and how I've treated them and stuff like that. And as I'm walking through, I'm ferociously writing everything down that I'm witnessing and sketching as much as I can and writing down, being this is what this looks like. And
Why don't you both
this.
make me medicine checks?
So Cedric's mindset right now is he has 2 spell slots. Ooh, nat 20 again.
And I hit a dirty 20.
All right.
For 26.
Wow. Yes.
This will be the only time we do this when we're not battling. We roll all the
Exactly.
20.
It's
And
battling
something else is
one.
gonna happen.
One.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping my luck is going to turn right around.
Cedric is basically, he knows he has 2 spell slots left. He wants to cast Cure Wounds on the most needy for as many people as he can, which in this case 2, which is why he's looking for children or elderly.
So yeah, again, you don't see any children.
Yes.
However, with a nat 20 and with your dirty 20, I will say you both get this feeling that there's something else happening with this necrosis. And as you go up and look closer, you can see what looks to be on the outside of all of these boils. It's almost as if there's like tiny little bugs that are just crawling around and they're eating away at things.
And this is not the same as what Cedric has seen in the past.
This is not. This is a different variation.
Yes.
I would say, so basically that's what you get with yours, with your natural 20. These, you don't know the nature of whatever's crawling around in there, but you know that it is 100% a variation of the plague that you encountered back in Archendale.
Would Cure Wounds do anything?
Cure Wounds? Actually, that's a good point. With your natural 20, if you were to cure wounds on this injury, in the past, it doesn't actually cure them of anything. It just delays the process. And you've seen in the past that when you did it, it's almost makes it more painful for that person. They almost don't really necessarily. It's painful because the reaction speeds up. So any sort of magical healing is not going to be helpful.
It's gonna make it worse.
Do I know that if I were to cast Speak with Animals, I would be able to talk to insects as well? Or...
Does Speak with Animals speak with insects? Or is that a different spell?
I don't know.
I have no idea. You know what? Fuck it. Sure. You can speak with insects.
Yay! Then you see Gax, he kind of like stabs his staff into the ground, does some quick things with his hands and speaks in low tone. And if I did also notice those bugs, I'm not gonna get super close to the boils, but I am gonna like start talking to them, being like, "Hey, why are you doing this?"
Feed, I must feed, I must feed. Feed, I must feed.
Okay. Why? Can't cure that.
I look at him.
Make
Are you speaking to them right now?
Make a colony, feed. We will make a colony, and we will. Yes, we will feed.
Who are you talking to?
Who are you doing this for? Why are you feeding?
It's a bug.
Yeah, baby.
Hungry. Host.
Who brought you here?
Feed. We must feed. We must feed. Yeah. You're not gonna get anything from a bug. At least from this.
Entity.
This, yeah. Because these are like more like larvae.
Yeah.
I asked Gags, who are you talking to?
The bugs.
You can speak to them?
Can't you?
No.
See?
What are they telling you? What do they come for? What's their cause? Why are they doing this?
It seems to be that they are parasitic. It seems that they live within their host. They feed.
See that?
Well, yes. They live within their host. They feed off of their host. They create a colony within their host. And then I turn back to the body and I say, when you're done feeding, will you go feed on something else?
No. We will become something else.
What do they say?
Gax in this moment is actually not going to answer your question. I'm going to haul ass towards the dead bodies that they're throwing away.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys just see Gax just haul fucking ass.
I start to
absolutely
follow him, yeah.
I
Yeah.
absolutely follow him, especially since he didn't answer my question.
Did they see the signs that said "Do not enter"? You will
Yeah.
contract the illness.
Yeah. Did not like.
You
Well,
unfazed. You
well, what Gax would have done is, as soon as he's noticed that sign, he probably would have done something to like cover his face at least.
Okay.
And
Cedric
then.
wouldn't even done that.
Yeah.
I ain't going in.
Yeah.
Bosco's.
I'm following Gex.
Yeah. But I'm hauling ass to those dead bodies.
All right, so who's not following?
I'm not going in. I'm gonna be like, man, I smell
Nah,
crab.
yeah.
Let's get some dinner.
I smell crab.
I'm hungry. Let's let all these.
You just leave them there for the night. Ditch them.
Alrighty. So you haul ass over to the, basically the wagon that's carrying all these dead bodies.
Mhm.
What do you do?
As I approach very, very cautiously, and I say, "Are you all feeding there too?" And I wait for a response.
We will become something else in a little bit.
I instantly, like, my head like shoots around. I make direct eye contact with you. Can you make fire?
You see a slight curl. Yes.
Burn them now.
Okay. You're here?
Yes.
You see me reach into my back? I draw out the flail-shaped object that you saw. And now you can actually see it. And I start to wind it up.
I say,
And you
I don't stop you, but I ask, what are you doing?
And I cast Green Flame Blade onto the wagon.
Alright.
As he attacks, I'll turn to you and I will say, they feed on their host, they evolve, they turn into something else. I don't know what that something else is, nor do I want to find out.
Give me a damage roll.
Even though that's
Okay.
not my normal voice, but whatever.
Also, just to clarify, I'm attuning the flail to fire. So it's going to deal fire damage on top of the Green Flame Blade.
Okay.
And you said that there were
Could've taken
guards
one and
as
chained
well, or
it up.
people like throwing the dead bodies onto it?
Yeah, the worker that was carrying this wagon has just sort of like left it there
Yeah.
and then went back and started like collecting more.
Okay.
He hasn't necessarily drawn his gaze to what you're doing, and honestly, he doesn't really care.
Yeah.
Um,
Making his life easier by just burning some dead bodies for
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if this will make it worse or better. Fuck, you missed, didn't you?
No, I didn't. Well, no, he's just rolling damage, but I rolled a fucking 1 on it.
Well, you just wanted to catch fire, right?
So
You're not
5
trying to...
points of fire damage.
5 points of fire damage.
Yeah, and if you want to count the fact that it's a wagon, whether that would transfer to the next target or not, but...
Well, I mean, when you hit with Green Flame Blade, it spreads, right?
Yeah, it spreads to an... I believe it spreads to an adjacent...
It's like an adjacent thing, which, like, this is just a pile of bodies, so it would 100% just sort of spread through it, and it would just start this, like, burning.
Okay, so...
You smell
All of
just a horrible, like, almost poisonous smell of, like, rotten eggs and, like
sulfur.
Sulfur mixed with, like, a metallic smell to it that's, like, just bites at your nose as you light this thing on fire. You, in your head...
Are they screaming or
You
are they
can
like
hear them sort of like unhappy and like kind of like crying out, and then it starts to like go mute, more and more mute,
So I know that they're
as if
dead.
like they're dying off.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Do we, the people who didn't enter the camp, do we see a pyre start to go up here?
You 100% see this man like start swinging his flail, and it lights up with this like silverish green energy, and then just and this wagon goes up in flames. As that happens, the guy turns around. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
You need to inform the magistrate straight away that all bodies infected must be burned right after death. As soon as they are dead, they are burned. Not buried, not anything else. Burned.
Not buried.
Not buried. The infection...
What happens if they're buried?
We don't know.
My name is Gaxurot. I'm a healer. I have been dealing with this for a very long time. The human, halfling, elf version of this disease is quite different in comparison to what has happened to the lizard folk. What I've just witnessed and what I've researched is that for the humans, halflings, and elves, it is a parasite that is within the body. And by parasite, I mean, did one body sound like hundreds of thousands, or is it just like one thing that's causing this?
More like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, okay. There are tiny insects that are causing this necrosis, and I'll walk over to one of the bodies and I'll like point out that ring of necrosis around the boil. They feed on their host, they get stronger, and then they turn into something else. I have not witnessed what this something else is, nor do I want to, if this is how they do it.
He looks utterly terrified.
Yes. Good. He fucking should.
And he sort of
I
like,
look at him and say, he's not lying.
He kind of like backs away a little bit,
Before you
and he's like, "I'm not touching any of this, but I would let Dan Ray Applefoot know of your findings."
This motherfucker. It's always this motherfucker. 1 second. I'm going to pull out my book, rip a page out, and, well, before I rip a page, I'm going to just write a quick note. Dear Mr. Applefoot, my name is Gaxurot. We haven't met yet. I do apologize for not meeting you so soon. Urgent matter. Please pay attention to this disease that is running rampant through this city is a parasitic one. They evolve after they have hosted on their they evolve after they have feasted on their host. Please be advised, burn bodies right after death. And then I'm gonna like underline that multiple times, hand it to the guy. Please take that to Applefoot immediately.
Sure. Starts busting ass.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
I had a question. So I have Spare the Dying as a cantrip, and it's supposed to stabilize someone at 0 HP. In this instance, with these NPCs and these people who are sick, can I use it in a sense that they are going to die? This doesn't heal them in any way, but it at least alleviates the pain.
You're gonna go one by one, just spare the dying on everyone?
And as many as I can.
Okay.
If I'm witnessing this, I shake my head and I just walk away.
Give me an Arcana check.
That's too much work.
18 plus 220, 30,
20. Alright, I'd say you go by a couple of people and you...
maybe the worst ones.
Yeah, you find some of the ones that are kind of like moving around in pain that look like mostly in pain. You do 5 or 6, and at that point, I think the rest of the group is basically in the corner like, "Come on, guys, let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got to get to dinner."
It's literally against my my belief to leave people suffering. That's why I'm doing this.
100%. Love it. So yeah.
As we're leaving, is there a guard posted or anything like that?
Is there a guard posted?
Yeah. Like,
more along the walls than anything else.
alright,
The guards don't really come out into this area.
Yeah, then I'm not gonna I'm not gonna force the situation if it's outside the walls then.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you start to
you
walk
guys
away, I
regroup.
do bundle up. I do conceal the flail again.
Okay. Yeah, so as you guys sort of regroup and start heading back towards the Bosco and Darley's house.
As we're walking, I would explain to the group, like, what just happened and why I was so urgent in that matter of the fact that, like, it was parasitic and it is evolving into something that I do not know. So I'd rather kill it before I find out.
And Gax, I also tell you, like, yes, I didn't see the sigils that we see on our brethren when they're afflicted.
Interesting.
Good to know, because starting a fire probably isn't the best way to make friends in the city.
I'm not known for making friends.
And all I need to do is tell them my name, and they will understand why. And I just go back to writing in my book.
And always cocky.
I don't know, man. You were at that table with the magistrate, and she was like, "Oh my God, it's you," and I was like, "It is me."
I'm him.
Yeah.
As you guys start heading back towards Bosco's home, we pick back up in the home, and Darley's finishing up. She's got this humongous fucking crab. Humongous. Yes.
Big mungus.
She's chopped it all up into like large portions. Obviously, she knows that there's some pretty large people coming. She's got the nice butter bin basically to like just lather it up, and she's got some extra potatoes. A little bit of you see some sage or some greenery that's on there as kind of like a what do they call
Some
that?
Garnish.
The garnish, yeah, kind of garnished it up.
Garnish steak.
Got you.
And she's set the table, all that good stuff. And as you're preparing to like sort of sit down, you got your little like bib on.
The napkin.
Yeah.
Like a lobster bib.
Yeah. I'm sorry, we've already had like 2 bowls while they were doing that.
You guys all head up, and you,
Before
Bosco,
we enter.
you lead up to the house. Yeah.
Before we enter, can I roll for an investigation check to see if there's anyone out of the ordinary in my house?
Roll a
Look for
perception check.
It's gonna be a 6.
The best you can get is that like you see the lights are on inside. There's light coming in through the window.
He's
I
lucky.
think as you're sort of skulking around, looking around, Darley like opens up the door, and it's like, "Boss, get your ass inside. Let's go. Let's eat. Dinner's ready."
Okay, I'm coming.
As
How'd you like the crab? You.
The crab turned out perfect. You did such a good job.
I'm so glad we're on better terms now.
As everyone enters, they see Nixel sitting there flicking a gear up in the air and catching it over and over again like a coin.
Awesome. So you guys see Nixel in there with his little bib on. He's sort of just
Our
sitting there
dragonborn
waiting
friend
to
is in the
Yeah, I probably had to
house.
crawl in there.
Me and you.
Yeah,
all
Well,
the-
I mean, I'm
all
already
the tall
hunched over,
ones
so-
tucked down a little bit underneath.
Hunch just a little bit more.
You guys see the same
hunch
thing.
over, you
All
just
of
go
this
move.
just like
Yeah.
crazy paintings all over the walls, showing that like someone here either likes art or paints. The house is in not disarray, but it's like organized chaos. Everything has like some sort of place for it, even though it is kind of chaotic in nature. You again hear like the clock kind of ticking in the background. And Darley sort of motions you guys inside. Please sit. let's eat. I'm obviously Bosco. How did you meet all of these people?
They came from. Oh, I got good news. My old boss.
Inago?
Yeah. I don't work for him anymore.
The best way to be like, yeah, I'm unemployed.
She leans forward. She's like, "That's fantastic." Gives you a little peck on the cheek and sort of like pats you, like holds your hand. She's like, "That is absolutely fantastic news. I'm so happy for you."
Thank you, honey. Now I can just hunt for a living and raise our pigs and go to market.
I want to be like, she seemed a lot nicer now than the last time we saw her.
Well, please, everyone, dig in. Bosco got us this giant ass crab. We weren't going to eat it all, so dig in. I hope you enjoy. Yeah. I'd love to hear where you guys come from.
Zarzaros is kind of gingerly making his way over to the seat and kind of gently placing his body. Not quite sure if it's going to work.
Your shield is outside.
Yeah.
I choose to find a spot on the floor and sit there.
Nixel is
I'd sit next to our guy.
Nixel's looking at this absolute unit of a dragonborn, and he's like, "That's a big dude."
What is your height?
He's like the size of this guy's face.
6'8".
So you guys all see Nixel here as well, who's kind of new to you, and you see he's wearing. Again, explain to us what you're wearing again.
Nixel is wearing a deepish blue robe that's got a collar that's up like this, sort of, and it's got not elegant, but it's got decent looking buttons that button it up, kind of like this would, and all along the robe, on the sleeves, on the torso, like all the way down, even to like the back of the cloak area, there's sewn on gears everywhere. Gears or cogs or springs or anything trinket or bits and bobs based, just sewn onto this robe. Anywhere and everywhere.
So yeah, you guys see this honestly kind of strange looking individual. He's about the same height as a halfling, maybe a little bit taller, but he's definitely more slender.
I'm like 2 inches.
He's not as portly.
Nixel is about 2 inches, or maybe 1.5 inches taller than Bosco.
Okay, yeah. So it's generally sized, kind of like a lean halfling.
Mm-hmm.
But you can tell by I'm assuming you have like kind of like pointy ears.
Pointy ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can tell that it's not necessarily
Elven
a halfling.
Ears. Yeah.
As Darley sort of speaks up again, she's like, I was talking to Nixel actually earlier, and Bosco, he said he might be able to help us retrieve some lavricite from the savannah. Obviously, we'd need a larger party. I don't know if these folk look like they could potentially. You guys look like you could potentially be warriors or of use for hire.
Does Argar know what lavricite is? Does it have any like magical properties that would be useful for magic users, or is it?
Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
Can I also do the same to see if I
Come
would know
on.
anything about it?
7.
7.
Would I know anything about it from either my teachings from my master or...
Yeah, go ahead and roll Arcana.
No shit. Huh.
It's just as a crit, like,
Or
it's
nature,
going on.
actually, for you.
I'll take nature.
It's a great roll.
Wish I could have him.
25.
25.
Yeah, 17 plus 8.
You know lavrosite is some sort of, it's like a purple mineral that has many arcane uses. It's very important to business and trade of Agaros.
Okay.
It's special to Agaros, at least as far as you understand. Again, you haven't necessarily left, so you assume that the trading in and out that happens with it is because no one else has access to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, we can obviously pay
I don't speak for everyone
if that's
here,
what you require.
but unfortunately, we may already be employed as of tomorrow.
Before we even do anything, I want to hear why this guy's in my house. I come in Darley, and there's another man.
His good terms were
Well, I
short-lived,
noticed
huh?
that he had like tinkering tools and cogs and such. I assumed that he probably knew about lavrosite. So
Whoa,
I
that's what
engaged in
he told
conversation
you.
with him.
That's what he told you. Why are you in my house?
Now, Bosco, that's not how we treat guests.
Well, is the man gonna answer though?
Nixel, are you all right with him asking you that question?
Certainly. Bosco, was it?
Oh yeah, that's what they call me.
I certainly wasn't inquisitive of Darley here. I was invited into your home.
That's it? That's all you got?
He was
All
looking
right.
at the shop. I asked him for a favor if he could go on this, because I've been asking you to gather some lavrosite, but obviously it's too dangerous for you to go out alone.
I'm willing to do it at some point, but like we do have one. I already got a new job. We're gonna get paid to do work tomorrow, so we're all going out.
Well, I mean, we have some time on this. I mean, it's for the alarm, so I mean, we don't necessarily need it right this second.
Soon.
I look up from what I'm eating, and I'm eating rather messily.
I was gonna say that the both of us, I feel like we're not even like picking stuff out. We're just chomping on the
I'm
entire
like full on
thing.
hands, like
Yeah,
both
no,
hands
it's
are
the same with me
buttered
too.
up
Just
right now.
grab it,
I'm just
eat.
like,
What's wrong with taking on 2 jobs?
It's not like the first job is going to start like right away tomorrow. We have to gather information about the group first anyway.
We do, but that sounds a lot more time pressing. Vigilantes acting out and riots. I don't think this lavrosite is going anywhere.
Cedric is eating rather properly and kind of looking at the lizard folk in a little disgust. Not like total disgust, but kind of looking down just a little bit at the fact that how much they are. But Mensch is like, Zarzaros is right. We did make a commitment already. We should at least see to it that that's done before we take on anything else. But I do think we can do both.
May I ask what was the commitment?
Can I do an insight check on him? See if I notice him being like,
Like looking at you a weird way for the way you're eating?
Yeah, yeah.
I do not
and
care.
him eating daintily?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100% give it insight.
I do
I-
not care.
Do I roll anything in defense or
deception?
deception? Do I actually?
No,
No, I'm not hiding it.
No, yeah.
You know, I'm not hiding it.
Yeah,
You can tell they're on
it's
your face.
clearly visible. It's more about what
Yeah.
can he gain information-wise
Yes.
on it.
Argar doesn't even notice that you're doing it. He's just like,
Got a 13.
It's
If
not.
anyone
It's
else
not
wants to do
rude.
that,
It's
they
not
can.
a. It's not a. You're beneath me. It's a. How could you eat like
A
that?
13.
Yep.
Yeah, got a 13.
It's human eating food like a fucking prick, like normal. He's coming off. I mean, he's coming off like he's got some class to him.
Yeah.
Right. He understands utensils. Okay. he understands a proper like what is mannerly. You know, like he's using manners.
He's a proper bloke. I look at him eating with like his actual hands, and I look down at my hands, and I'm like, huh, I have claws. Okay. Just go back to eating.
You mimic the fork with your fingers.
You're like
No,
ripping the meat apart. You're not like cutting. it.
No. I'm not even ripping. I'm just grabbing and eating.
Oh, you're swallowing?
Yeah.
like an actual crocodile. Just one.
Well, not all.
By the way, the crab does taste absolutely delicious.
Thank you for your hospitality, Darlie. It is delicious.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Again, may I inquire actually on what this other business is you have?
Bosco was lucky enough to set us up with the magistrate.
Bosco, you had a run-in with the magistrate?
I didn't do any introducing.
You trying to give him credit?
I just set him up.
I got him into the nest, and that was all. Done.
So why is... what's your name?
Zarzaros.
Why is Zarzaros saying that you met with the magistrate? What are you not telling me?
You hear in your head, Zarzaros.
Oh.
Don't fuck it up.
At this point, I don't.
That was in your head.
At this point,
Your telepathy is only from you to him. He can't respond.
Correct.
I'm cornered. What am I supposed to say? You're insistent that I'm meeting with the magistrate, which I never did. I stood back there and said, I can help.
Oh, God.
How about we roll for it? If you're trying to be intimidating with it or persuasive, roll that, and you roll against your, just roll a charisma saving throw. Basically, if your charisma saving throw beats his DC.
Okay. Got a 14.
17.
Yeah, so I'd say that you probably feel. Would you use intimidation?
I used intimidate.
So you definitely feel this like
in his mind.
This thing enters your mind, very similar to what entered your mind this morning, in a similar fashion. Okay, and but this is very intimidating, and you know the source is coming from him. Okay, and he's basically like, don't fuck this up or you're probably going to be in trouble with her and me at the same time.
That's it.
So we bumped into Dorley because...
You mean Macy?
Macy.
He's rattled.
We were just simply in the nest. This fellow over here needed his armor repair, and next thing you know, this real shady figure walks in, cloak all over their head, and sits at the bar, and you can tell really suspicious. and we all had the instinct of like, what's going on there? So we walked up. It's Macy. I didn't seek to talk to Macy in any way. We bumped into her.
You know I trust you, Bosco. You don't have to defend yourself like you're up to something bad, okay?
The hands, that was say that's another stick.
You know that's Macy's stick anyways. She's very much roguelike.
If I may interject.
Certainly. It sounds like you lot have a certain air of morals about you. So you should go to your meeting tomorrow and find out everything you can.
That was kind of the plan.
Are you gonna go with them?
I haven't decided yet.
He's not staying here.
Well, if you're worried about that, I can assure you I'm in no way interested in the primitive desires of the flesh. It's rather a distraction, actually.
I guess I can learn to trust you at some point.
I take it that you have a deep interest in this lavrosite.
That's correct.
Any interest in qualming riots?
What I think
I could be persuaded.
What I think my friend is trying to say is, if you'd like to help us with this problem, we can move on to the laprosite faster.
And then we can help you with that problem.
I wouldn't call it a problem.
Then gathering it.
It's a little bit of a problem. I mean, if you go out there by yourself, you're gonna get smushed.
Wild boars. That's what I'm hearing.
Well, the next time I see a boar fly.
I just kind of look at you blankly.
Is time of no meaning to you? Like a map.
That was such a deep question.
No, like a map.
Is this Bosco?
No, like a does,
Bosco's balls
Hey,
just dropped out?
Bosco
no,
locked
it
in
is
broken
above
blocks.
table.
yeah. Does the fairy have?
Above table, fairies live seemingly forever, as
Okay.
long as they're connected to the Fey worlds. I'm not entirely... At this point, Nixel's not entirely sure how that would react.
But in your head,
now
like,
that he's
yeah.
not in the Fey worlds, but he kind of has the idea that he's more or less immortal as long as he's connected to the Fey.
Okay. Thank you.
Unless he actually dies.
I was
Like
I
in
was
combat.
wondering, like if you would have even been bothered that we went and did something for a day and then went to the laprosite.
Oh.
No, he probably wouldn't realize that if time doesn't really make that much sense to him. Would have been like, oh, you're gone. Oh, you're here. Cool.
Or at least it's inconsequential for
Yeah.
his purposes.
Kind of like elves or high elves.
That's what I was wondering.
If I may ask for more details, what can you tell me about this job that you've been proposed?
The magistrate asked us to investigate a group of vigilantes that are causing trouble. They have been inciting riots, attacking lizard folk, and other things as well.
It's causing problems for the Crow's Vigil.
Yes, that's what it was.
The Crow's Vigil?
A group that runs the city.
Well, it's... I mean, Bosco, if you want to talk on that.
Any ties to a ship with a blackbird tattoo?
Oh yeah, I even got one here.
I pull up my shirt.
I was hoping it'd be like a tramp stamp. He turns around and something back, and it's right there.
No, I have the cry. Just like,
Nixel
yeah.
would look, observe it for a second, and then turn away. He'd kind of be like, "Oh, I didn't need to see that."
But yeah, a blackbird ship, that's Nago's. A Nago Buns ship. Bosco used to work for him. He actually just didn't get laid off. He got set free, essentially.
Actually, these three were on that ship when they came in.
Why do you ask about it?
I saw your ship dock from the hillside.
Yeah?
And?
So there are 100 ships that dock a day here.
I mentioned
That's just the one.
Crow's visual.
That's
Probably
just the
put two
one
and two.
thing I noticed was the sail.
Put 2 and 2 together. Does it mean anything to you?
Not at the moment.
Can we
Can
say
we
Insight-
roll
insight
insight
on
on this?
that.
Can we roll?
100% everyone can roll it.
Yeah.
On inside on that.
Sure.
Oh, Bosco didn't see anything.
Hey, what do you know? Still rolling low.
It's the map.
That's against your
It's not the
deception.
map.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter. Stop being
Persuasion.
suspicious.
You don't know. He could be telling you.
I rolled with that 20. I took all the luck.
Probably not.
Well, his smirk was a deceptive smirk. He was hiding something.
Well, I don't see it because I rolled a natural one. So
That one.
In character.
17.
yeah, I mean it
Dirty
fits. I'm
20.
still licking my fingers from the butter.
Your claws.
What'd you hit?
Yeah.
Oh, I got 18.
18.
21.
What's the DC over the Mr. Deception?
The very
17.
Ooh, yes, we
Alright.
got some. We're gonna
Beats
get.
it, beats it. So anyone with a 17 or higher clocks. You see
Don't come
him
into
sort
my
of
house
like
and lie.
hesitate to this question. I guess I'll leave it up to you to fill in
use the crystals
blank.
from now on.
Who am I addressing?
I noticed.
Well, we're all sitting at the table.
Everyone
Did you
but
notice too?
Bosco. Actually, I guess I'll roll insight on that as well.
You'll hear in your mind.
Everyone's mind?
He
Oh.
will hear in his mind. You're lying. Intimidation.
Ooh, big boy. Whoa.
Nat 20.
There's
Oh,
been so
baby.
many 20s
25.
tonight. We need
Yeah,
a ding.
you, so you feel that
You
shit
need a
right
counter in the corner.
Like a
in
gong.
your-
Yes. Counter.
So-
Love it.
You have felt this kind of presence before in your mind, dealing with who you deal with. Back in the Feydark. But something about his voice, his stare, his presence, just
He's a big
looming
dude.
in here. He's a huge
His
dude.
face is the size of me.
And he's just stuffing his fucking face with some crab meat.
Crap.
You're lying. What do you do?
I would say I had a vision on my way to Agaros. I took a portal from the Feydark, and in my vision, I saw a tattoo of a blackbird. So, when I arrived in Agaros and saw the ship that you three were on, supposedly, docking, it triggered something in my mind, and I recalled back to the vision that I had while I was being transported from the Feydark to Faerun.
This vision of the tattoo, did you see where on the body it was located?
I did not.
Can I, even if I'm sitting at the table when I heard that, can I answer? Or
Yeah, I mean, he's
Okay.
talking out loud at this point.
Everyone in the Crow's Vigil is marked. We all have that tattoo. It's our branding.
Is it the same for everyone?
Oh yeah.
Is the Fey Dark and the Fey Wild the same thing, or is it two different?
The Feydark is even deeper than the Feywild.
It's like the Underdark.
Oh, okay.
It's the Underdark of the Fey.
Yeah.
On the ship.
I've heard
No,
of the
that's what
Fey
everyone
Wild,
had.
We
but
did
I've
with
never
everyone.
heard of the Fey
I was more
Wild.
so just like,
Okay.
is it the same for everyone?
Okay.
I don't know if it's like different styles.
Yeah.
What type of place is it?
Foreboding.
My master has told me that there is a lot of fun in the Feywild to be had.
It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
It must have been quite a journey through that portal. love to hear about it sometime.
If you're wondering more about this tattoo, we are trying to get, this is of importance to you now.
Shut up and listen.
We're trying to get a meeting with Gorik, the head of the Crow's Vigil. And maybe if you are predestined to join us here, that's what you're thinking of.
Okay.
I think what he's trying to say is you're welcome to join us tomorrow when we go to sign the contract.
Okay.
Cool. He doesn't give much, does he?
Nope. Still eating.
As I kind of finish up,
Eating.
Stepping out. If I was to step outside the building, what does that general area look like? Is it like still part of Port Vischer, or are we on like the outskirts?
You're on the outskirts of Port Vischer, behind the wall that goes around in its U shape, and then this hut is kind of just placed amongst a bunch of other similar style huts, and there's some tents around as well nearby, but it's still not crossing over what seems to be like this like oddly stopped zone of like no one goes over that.
Gotcha. Okay, so it's not like it's like I can go out there and there's no one around. It's not that secluded. Yeah.
Looking around and noticing that Argar's gone, I'm also gonna get up and head outside. How much time would you say has passed between when we burnt those bodies and now?
I mean, you guys have been at dinner for about an hour,
Okay.
I'd say. She's sort of finishing up everything. She's collecting all the dishes, kind of. She basically is like saying her adieus and like, it was great to meet you all, and obviously I wish I had more space, but I really don't. I know there's been a little bit of vacancy issues at the raised roof, but you could always try and find your way in there if you're looking for any place to stay, not outside.
We'll try at the raised roof.
Is there a problem with sleeping outside?
I wouldn't say there's a problem sleeping outside. I mean, I don't know how your species is, but I mean, I need a roof over my head. But if you don't, if you're fine with the natural elements, it's up to you.
The stars tend to lead the way.
That's nice, guys. Very poetic. But yeah, it was great to meet you all.
Thanks for sharing the dinner. It was delicious.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed. Maybe we'll be able to do it again sometime. But I guess for now,
Darling, would you mind if I took a bit of this leftover crap and just put it in my vial here? And he presents a vial.
A vial?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with a vial?
A thermos?
I thought
or
you
vial?
wanted it to go.
Well, I'm going to let this flesh rot.
Wait, the crab?
Yes.
Or the peep? Okay.
The crab?
Crap.
Why would you
Not
let
even
it
the
rot?
peapod.
You don't let perfectly buttered crab rot.
It has its purposes.
Please explain.
For spell casting, of course.
Fair enough. She hacks off a piece of the crab and just sort of hands it to you.
Thank you. You're most generous.
Are you sure you don't want some for the road?
No, I'm stuffed. Thank you.
Anyone else? Alright.
I'm not in the building anymore. I already walked.
Yeah.
Alright. So yeah, you guys end up leaving out, saying your goodbyes, Bosco, I'm assuming you stay.
Are they sleeping on the side of the house, or are they going to the raised roof?
We're going to the raised roof.
Oh, I should mention.
We want a room.
I should mention. Sorry, before you guys leave, she's like, "Are you guys going to that thing at the Sneaky Goose?"
Oh.
Bosco, you should go.
Oh, the once in a lifetime.
What time is it right now?
Yeah, what
I've
is
heard
it?
that he needs a large party.
Oh,
For a once in a lifetime opportunity, right?
Oh.
Is that what it said?
That is what it said in the thing.
But I thought we asked you about it and you said you were kicked out.
It's about 6 or 7.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought it was like
The
way
general
I thought we asked about it in the beginning.
The wobbly sack, not the sneaky goose.
I don't know. I thought you kicked out of every place,
Do
Bosco.
we see any more like plumes of smoke as bodies are being burned at all, or no?
No.
No, that's good. Yeah.
Well, in
That's
Draconic,
bad,
I would say to you,
Or are we all outside?
I'm concerned. I'm really concerned.
Do you walk up to me and like, because I probably took about like 30 paces out and then and just kind of standing there, while they were still saying their goodbyes and whatnot. I was gonna activate a charge on the flail.
Oh. Okay.
So
Go ahead.
I'm just. It looks like I'm just zoning out, just standing there because of looking off into kind of nowhere. Are you there?
Yes.
I think to myself to tell that.
What is it?
Can you see what I see?
I can feel.
What did you feel when I burned the wagon?
It felt refreshing.
Is this what you call judgment?
I would say partly. Better judgment would be to let them live and then kill them.
Interesting. This dragonborn I'm with, he has it.
He has the peace. You must obtain it. I will not be at my full strength until you do.
In time, trust is hard to earn. But it will happen.
I have felt this dragonborn's aura. He can be manipulated.
Is it because of his allegiance to her mercy, as he says?
His past.
He's not as clean as he looks.
And with that, the signal cuts out.
Okay.
I'm concerned. They're not burning them.
Do you think it's that easy?
No, but I think it will only spread and kill more. If they do not take the
We might have to deal with more than just the dead.
Okay. I'll be prepared.
As you guys are finishing up your conversation in Draconic, you guys would be stepping out.
So we were not in earshot of that.
No. He
Nor
specifically stated that he was trying to be alone
I
to
see.
do that.
Yeah.
And then
Well, no,
this
I
was
meant him. I meant
this was a
gas.
quick. You guys wouldn't have understood it anyways unless you can speak Draconic.
I do.
So actually, then give me a. How do we do this?
Perception.
You go down.
Yeah,
Oh,
perception's good.
Yeah.
Anyone
Do
know-
understand
anyone
you.
knows-
Overhearing
Anyone
that.
know common sign
Whoever can
language?
speak Draconic can potentially listen in.
I will say though the my alone conversation was
No,
telepathic.
that
so-
that one I didn't. I'm not even. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I fully
What am
meant
I
Gax.
rolling?
But also,
Perception.
didn't he walk out to him? Like,
Yeah.
He was far away for a
Oh,
reason.
that's
He
true.
went
So
out
maybe
to
it's
him.
a
It wasn't
disadvantage
like
then?
you'd all have to be
I
like
don't know.
close to him.
Yeah, I mean, I've already got it. The DC.
Well, either way, I got an 8.
I'm just there.
Anyone else? Did anyone
I
else
did
roll?
2, but it was a 7. So
I rolled a 12.
With those rolls, you guys catch like the last few words of it, but that's about it.
I don't let on that I understood it.
You just understand that they were talking in Draconic, and they were outside alone, so it might just be that they're just speaking naturally.
Lizard folk.
So yeah, where are you guys headed?
Wait, did we?
We can-
All we heard about the sneaky goose, which was saying
We can go to the Sneaky Goose, or we can go to the inn.
We need to go to the sneaky goose first. All
Sneaky
right,
Goose,
it's
that's
not
where
time to go to bed
Nixel
yet.
is.
It is like 6
race
o'clock. It is 6 o'clock. Yeah, Sneaky Goose it is.
Going to the Sneaky Goose.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll finish up the session with as you guys are traversing. I'm assuming all of you are going, right?
yes.
Okay.
Hell yeah, full party.
As you guys lead you, Bosco probably knows the way, so he's sort of leading you guys there. You pass by the market areas. The Sneaky Goose is in a little bit further than you've been. It's not necessarily out near the boardwalk markets anymore, which is where the nest is and Bodink's shop and all of that. If you go through the middle of Port Vischer and you get to the first kind of like U shape, on one of the corners there is you see this kind of like, it's a shop that's kind of like almost off kilter a little bit, and it's got one kind of small like dome piece that goes over it as like its main roof area. You can very clearly see in like the same calligraphy font that you saw on the posters, the Sneaky Goose on it.
Can I ask Bosco as we're going in, or as we're doing the outside, why do they call it the Sneaky Goose?
I don't know. It's just the apothecary.
The apothecary.
So yeah, you would know this to be some sort of like potion shop. And it opens up for these kinds of events as kind of a selling point, but there's always a prize involved. And it's the best way to explain this to you is it's kind of like when you get in, it's that Willy Wonka with the golden ticket scenario. Not everyone is chosen, but big groups hoard around in hopes that they can go in. Right? It's got this sense of mystery to it. It's not your normal shop. Okay? As you guys start to approach it, you can see that there are just crowds around of just every type of species that's here. You got elves, Eladrin, you've got a couple of fairies here and there. There's some humans, some elves, half-elves, even a couple of dragonborn that are just sort of chilling in Port Vischer. They're like, I want to get in on this Sneaky Goose thing. Let's see if I can get in. And you guys start to approach, and obviously there's like this massive like disconnect from where the actual door is to you guys. But you can see that out on the outside, there's kind of like this balcony where there's another door on top, and where someone would like come out and like greet everyone. And you know this is standard practice. Elysian Silvermist, who is a elf who runs the shop, is he's a showman, 100% a showman. In regards to like that Willy Wonka style, he's very he's a little odd. He likes his games, and usually what happens in this kind of place is that he picks a number of groups of people for whatever game that he's crafted up for this next experience, and there's some sort of reward at the end of it. Usually one of his creations. And yeah, as you guys walk up, you see just like from the side, there's like these bubbling cauldrons just around it, just sort of like giving it that like I'm a potion shop vibe to it. And yeah, I think that's where we're gonna stop our session this evening. Thank you everyone for joining us, and see you again next week.